Stand up, New York Giant fans. What's going on, Baddog?
What is going on, my man? How you doing on this fine Friday evening?
Stand.
There we go. I did mute that.
Got
Okay, we're good. Yep, I muted that. Okay. I muted it. We're good.
I'm doing good, man. Obviously the whole thing going on in the world, but trying to stay in, trying to stay safe. Hope everyone's doing the same thing. Hope you're doing the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Just want to say hello to a couple of people in the chat. I see we got Cody Collins, Sabrina, Blue Jackets Talk, John's in the house, Hayden Kim, Bob Money, Chris Gonzalez, Aaron Morgan, Paul. Thank you to everybody for popping in. Obviously, we got the NFL draft coming up. NFL draft's what? Like 2 weeks away now, Baddog.
3 weeks. April 23rd.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
3 weeks from yesterday.
I was getting excited.
I know. It's okay. It's okay. Don't go too soon, Chris. We don't want that.
So, seems as if it's down to Simmons, with our first pick anyway, and I'm sure we'll get into our later picks as well. Seems as if it's down to Simmons or an offensive tackle. I don't really see any other possibilities now, and the fan base is completely divided. Some of the fan base wants specific tackles, and some of the fan base wants Simmons, and a lot of people want the tackle, but they want us to be able to trade down. And we'll have to wait and see if there's a potential trade partner in that aspect, but let's start there. Let's talk about your thought process. I know you're a Simmons guy. Your thought process on Simmons and what you see transpiring after that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm actually uploading a video on my thoughts on Simmons now. So when you guys get done with the stream, make sure you go check it out. I had to do it late. Uploading with my green screen's a pain in the ass. I'm an old school guy, man. I love the defense. I mean, I've always been a defensive guy, and I watch this kid play. He's special. I mean, he's a special talent. He plays all levels of defense. And I'm so sick of getting beat by the damn tight ends. Like, I can't stand teams chewing us up in the middle of the field on a consistent basis, converting 3rd and 15, 3rd and 18, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 5. It gets tiring after a while. I think Simmons can be that guy that changes things around, man. And I completely understand the argument for the linemen, too. We need a lot. There's a lot of holes in this team, and I understand both aspects. You drafted Barkley 2nd, you drafted Jones 6th. You need to protect those guys. There's no doubt about that. But my feeling is, you're passing Simmons at 4, you ain't getting another Isaiah Simmons. And I love Chason, and I love Kenneth Murray, but they're a major step down. Okay, I don't think that Austin Jackson or Josh Jones is really that far of a step down. The gap between Austin Jackson and Josh Jones compared to your Andrew Thomas isn't as great of a gap as Simmons to Murray, I guess is my point. And that's why I feel like if you pass Simmons, you can't get him. If you do trade back, draft Simmons at 6, you can go back up into the first round and get a pretty good tackle. So that's kind of my thoughts on that whole thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might agree with your mindset. To me, it's going to come down, like I said all along, this is just my opinion, and I welcome everybody's opinion, whether they're a Simmons guy, whether they're an offensive tackle guy. I think it's basically the same decision that Gettleman had in 2018. In 2018, I think it was clearly obvious the Giants' biggest need at that point in time with an aging quarterback, when you were sitting in a position to take a quarterback at number 2 overall, was a quarterback. Yeah. And I think that Gettleman's mindset there was none of these guys, whether it was Darnold or whoever it may have been, was a game changer at the quarterback position, which is why he went with Barkley. And I think it's the same situation here, at least from my perspective. I think the tackle is a more important position. But if he doesn't view any of these guys as a game changer, he might go Simmons, because Simmons is an unbelievable talent at a need at a very important position. I just view the tackle to be more important because of obviously Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, the blindside protector of your quarterback for the next 15 years. But they got to be a game-changing player to take him at 4. I completely get that side of the argument.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I thank God that we didn't go quarterback in 2018 because they all stink except for Lamar Jackson. I guess we could have went there. I guess we could have went Lamar Jackson, right? He was that draft. So I guess we could have went there, but I wasn't a Darnold guy. That was the guy that they were talking about. And, you've seen Darnold hasn't been great with the Jets. He wouldn't have been great with us either. So I'm glad we didn't go quarterback because I still think that Daniel Jones is better than every quarterback in that draft class except for Lamar Jackson at this point. Honest to God.
Yeah. At this point, you got to say Lamar Jackson. And Natalie, thank you so much for the $2 donation. Baddog definitely taller. That is fiction.
We're the same height.
Baddog and myself. It's on live stream.
Yep.
It's on, I think, his channel and my channel.
It is.
And you can see we're the same height.
We're the same height.
That is fiction. But I appreciate the $2 donation. So all right, if we're going Simmons at 4, it's becoming more and more obvious to me that you have to either go tackle or center at 36.
Definitely.
And then I think the question becomes, let's say hypothetically, bad though, because if you look at this draft, you got the Giants picking at 4. Let's say they pass, they go Simmons, they don't take the tackle, but then you still got the Jets. You got the Broncos could take a tackle.
The Browns.
You got the Browns. You got the Cardinals. You got the Dolphins with 3 picks. They're taking a tackle. You got the Vikings could take a tackle. They got 2 picks. You got the Titans that lost Conklin. I'm thinking at least 5, probably 6 tackles go in the first round. So if you're the Giants there, then the question becomes, do you go with the elite center prospect? Because maybe one center's off the board. You could probably get the first or second best center in this year's draft. Or do you go with that 7th or 8th best tackle prospect? That becomes the question if you go with Simmons around 1 for me.
I'll be honest. I mean, at that point, I definitely go, what is it, Ruiz, right? I would go center in the second round for the simple fact that we're paying Solder all this money. What are we doing with Solder? Is Solder going to the right side for sure, so you lose Gates and you lose Cam Fleming? Or is Solder going to sit the bench making all that money? I know he's been bad. I get that, but I think because you're paying him, he kind of has to be there. So instead of going, 8th best left tackle in the draft, get your best center, address the left tackle either in free agency or in the draft next year. I would take the elite center and get that spot locked up rather than taking your, because if you don't go center, you still have a center hole, and then you have the 8th best left tackle in the draft. So get the best center, shore up that spot, and then worry about your tackle at another time. Don't go 8th best tackle and still be left void at the center with Spencer Pulley or whoever's going to play that.
I'm with you on that. If they do not go tackle in the first or they don't trade back, I would, unless a guy like Austin Jackson or Josh Jones falls, I'm probably leaning center at this point in time. Jose, I'm sorry, that's right. You're under your girlfriend's name. Natalie Barlog, Jose, says, damn it, Chris, it's Jose. Thank you for the $2 donation. And I just want to make sure I get this. Oh, Malik, man, one of my best. Thank you so much. $5 donation. He says, can't name a more iconic duo. Let's get them in the game booth. Every Sunday, Malik. Yeah. Every Sunday we alternate channels. And Baddog's actually doing this for me because my internet's been acting up. I gave him the stream key, so I don't think his channel is in the description below. So if one of my subscribers can post his channel, please do that. We'll be live on his channel next week doing the same show. Thank you to everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. But I agree with you on that point, Baddog, in terms of the center. If we do go with Simmons, I do agree taking the center there unless one of the better tackle prospects are there. And then the other option you have is you could completely show up the offensive line this year. If you take the tackle at 4 and you take the center at 36, or if you trade down, you get the 6th pick, you take your tackle, you take a defensive player at one of those 2 second-round picks, and you take your center, then you don't got to worry about the offensive line in next year's draft. So the Giants have a lot of options here on where to go in this draft. I think everything is open. I think you can double up on offensive line. I think you can double up on defense. I suppose you could take a safety like Grant Delpit, but I don't want to go into this season with the offensive line we have in place without taking at least one offensive lineman with one of these first 2 picks. You're asking for Daniel Jones to get killed if you do that.
Yeah, no, I agree. We definitely have to shore up the line at some point. I don't think there's any doubt about that, because it's a weak spot. And like I said, we have taken we've used a 2nd pick and a 6th overall pick, on Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. So you got to protect Daniel Jones. He got hurt last year. He's not Eli Manning, obviously. Eli Manning is the Iron Man. So obviously, you want to keep him upright. You don't want Colt McCoy playing games, at the end of the year or whatever. But so I get it. I mean, it's a tough spot. We're in a tough spot for the simple fact that we have, so many empty spots. I don't know what is going on with my computer right now.
Don't worry. Philly 500, man. Thank you so much, man, for the donation. Philly 500 is the man. If you haven't done so, go check him out. He says, look at mini NASA Dog acting like the moon hanging out at the horizon. I love it. What's up, guys? What's up, Philly 500?
Philly's the man.
Of the best, man. Love having him on the channel, and I'm looking forward to working with him in the future. And Nick the Wick with the $2 donation. If Chase Young is there at 4, is he a lock? He's got to be a lock. Bad dog. And now, first off, let me get your thoughts. Is this even remotely possible? Because people are talking. Some Giants fans are trying to talk this into reality, I feel. Do you think it's even remotely possible that Chase Young could fall to 4? Because I'll say this big of a percentage. I think it's very, very small. I do not see it happen realistically.
It's small, but you know what? With Daniel Snyder, man, anything is possible. But this is the thing. Daniel Snyder liked Haskins. That's why Gruden was
Yes,
going.
he did.
Gruden liked Daniel Jones, and he liked it. So I don't see Tua going there. But crazier things have happened on draft day. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
So you never know. You never know.
The one thing I read today, I think it was on Twitter or Instagram. One of the sources said that Tua is dropping down draft charts. They said a lot of teams have him as their third or fourth quarterback. So you hear a lot of things leading up to the draft, though, like you said.
Oh,
Johnny,
God,
thank you so much, man, for the $10 donation. Hope everything's going well there in Vegas. Great subscriber, both of ours. He says, the drop-off between tackles is massive. I believe Baddog is talking himself into it because he wants the linebacker, which I understand. If we don't improve the offensive line, it's another 6-10 at best. I think, to be honest with you, Johnny, and I'm an offensive line guy, I think we're going 6-10 regardless, unless we get a lot of luck. I don't think Simmons is going to add more than a few wins to our team, and I think an offensive lineman. Here's my thought process, and this is my honest opinion, Johnny and Bad Dog. I think Simmons probably has a slightly bigger immediate impact than an offensive tackle, because offensive tackles take a year or two to probably get to their full potential, and we still have a bad overall offensive line. I think it's the beginning of molding the offensive line. However, I think if you take the tackle, I think it's long-term thinking. I think you're saying to yourself, Daniel Jones is going to be the starting quarterback for the next decade. This guy's going to be able to block for him for the next 10 years. And that is the question. Do you think about the immediate impact for the next 2 or 3 years, or do you think about protecting your quarterback for the next 10? I think that's the mindset there with that pick.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I honestly don't think there's that big of a. I mean, there's a drop off, but I wasn't saying that, Johnny. What I'm saying is the drop off between Simmons to the next talented linebacker is a much wider gap than the difference between Andrew Thomas and Josh Jones, in my opinion, or Austin Jackson or whatever. I just think that you can't not replace an Isaiah Simmons. The guy does everything, man. The guy can cover. The guy can blitz. The guy can tackle. The guy is a freaking ridiculous. The dude jumped, 11-foot broad jump, right? He had a 4.39 40. You saw that interception he had during the championship game against LSU, the ground he covered. It'd be nice to have a guy with closing speed that can stop these guys from converting third downs. Okay, a guy catches a quick slant on 3rd down and 9. Simmons tackles him after a gain of 6, rather than the guy continuing to run through the secondary and the linebackers for a 20-yard gain. Yeah. I just feel like defense. We haven't had defense here in forever. We have not had bad defense here in forever. We can't stop anybody.
In fairness, Bad Dog, and I agree with you, we haven't had an offensive line in forever either.
No, that's true, too.
It's both. It's both.
That's
and
true,
I think that's the frustration on both sides of the argument. City for real, man. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. He says, tell Bad Dog to turn around and look at himself and say, what? That's what the back of my head looks like. I think he sees mini Bad Dog on the screen.
Oh, does he?
Thank you so much, City for real, for the $2 donation.
Oh, yeah.
And
I didn't even see that.
Malik. Yeah, go check yourself out, Bad Dog.
I see that. Watch this. We're going to get rid of him. There he goes.
With the $5 donation, he says, "Hey guys, what's up? Sorry for being late. Are you kidding me? You never have to apologize for being late." He says, "What did I miss? Did Bad Dog already going crazy again with Gettleman, Chase Claypool, my guy? He hasn't gone crazy yet. You stick around, I'm sure he will. And I think Chase Claypool's a lot of Giants fans, guys, and I'm sure we'll talk more about the later rounds as the show progresses. Thank you so much for the love." And True Rapless with the $2 donation, he says, "Let's say Jags trade up. Who are we taking at 9 and 20? We'll get to that in 1 second. I just want to read this last one. $5 donation for Blue Jackets Talk. He says, not sure what pick the New York Giants will have next year, but there is a generational tackle in next year's draft. I know a lot of people have talked about him. Who would intrigue you guys? Yes, but we don't know what we're going to be picking next year. That's the other thing you got to factor in. As far as the 9 and 20 goes, that's an interesting question. I did a video on that, Bad Dog. I'm interested to get your take. Let's say you trade down with the Jaguars. You get picks 9 and 20. You still have pick 36. What's your strategy if you're Dave Gettleman in that situation? What players are you looking at?
If you go on 9 and 20, then Simmons ain't there at 9, most likely. So then you do. Then you go Andrew Thomas, or if Jedrek Wills is there. I mean, you go any of them. And then at 20, you get Chase on or Murray. I mean, that's in an ideal world, that's exactly what I want. See, when I talk about drafting Isaiah Simmons, I'm talking about picking 4th or picking 6th. I'm not talking about picking 9th. I think we're reaching for a tackle at 4 when Simmons is not a reach at 4. But if we go back to 9 and get one of those guys and then get a Chase on or a Murray, oh my God, I'm in. That's exactly what I want them to do. I want them to trade back in 9 and 20 or 12 and 19 with the Raiders and do the same thing. That's the type of thing that I want. That's the perfect scenario. because then you do get the top tackle, and then you do get the second best linebacker, or 2 and 2B pretty much. Murray and Chason are pretty close. So although Chason's kind of considered a defensive end, he's a big linebacker. Murray's more of a pure linebacker, but I mean, I love Kenneth Murray.
You're getting a defensive player with your tackle, and then you still could take your center or your safety or whoever with that 36 pick. And I agree. That's exactly what I said in my video. I said there's 3 options. At number 9, you have to take the tackle because you don't know if one of the, the 4 elite supposed tackles is going to drop to 20. So you take your tackle there at 9. At 20, then you take your defensive playmaker, who's ever the best on the board, whether it's Kayvon Chason, whether it's Kenneth Murray, whether it's Patrick Queen, Matos, whoever. You get a defensive playmaker at 20. And then at 36, you have 3 different options.
Center.
You could take a center. You could take another defensive player. You could take a guy like Delpit. Or you could take a wide receiver. Say a wide receiver drops there that you didn't expect. I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying that's an option on the table because you've already filled 2 holes. So it just opens up more options. But 9 and 20 to me is a home run.
Best thing, like you just said, that's a home run. I mean, you get the tackle, you get the linebacker, and then you could get the safety or the center. I mean, if you could get the tackle, if you could get one of the best tackles in the draft and one of the best centers in the draft, then you're golden. That would be the best thing we could ever do is take Andrew Thomas, someone like Andrew Thomas at 9, Kenneth Murray at 20, and then Ruiz at 36. I worry about
or Cushenberry.
Right. I like Ruiz the best, but I'm just saying any of those guys, and then you worry about the receiver later in the draft. I don't because look at Slayton was a 5th round pick. He's our best receiver. You don't need those guys. I mean, I've mentioned Colin Johnson a bunch of times. You could probably get him in the 4th round. And he's not the fastest guy, but he's a 6'6", 225-pound guy that wins every 50-50 ball, and he has great hands. He's a perfect red zone target. I mean, that's what Eli Manning out of Plaxico Burress. I really like Colin Johnson later in the draft. We don't need a stud receiver. You don't win with receivers. How many elite receivers have won Super Bowls besides Jerry Rice? Can you name me one?
Especially in the new salary cap era. When those guys hit their second contract, we say it all the time. It's very hard to find an instance where a guy making $20 million or whatever it is at the wide receiver position is winning Super Bowls, unless his quarterback's on a rookie contract.
Right.
I'm completely with you. I would much rather get value at the wide receiver position. You see it every draft. I did a video on that too. It was over a 10-year time period. I think there were 11 Pro Bowlers that were first-round draft picks at the wide receiver position. During that same 10-year time period, I think 23 were drafted between rounds 2 and 7. Wide receiver is a position historically you get value at in the draft, and especially in this draft when it is loaded with wide receiver talent. So I agree with you. I would put it up to at least round 3 at the earliest. I completely agree with you. And I want to get Prison Mike's $2 donation. I thought that was bigger. Mike changed his name. Maybe it's not.
No, it's not. It's not.
He says, "Hey, you fellas, I'm finally out. Don't drop this song." Well, I appreciate that, man. Prison Mike. Oh God, thank you so much for the $2. Hopefully, everybody out there is using soap because we don't want you guys getting sick.
Wash your hands.
And Zeke Anderson, man, really appreciate the love, man. $5 donation. Is possible any team trades up to the number 4 pick for a non-quarterback since Simmons walks on water? Everybody should kill to get him. No. Zeke, it's possible. I mean, obviously, we've seen instances in the draft where teams trade up for a non-quarterback, but usually, when you're trading up that early in the draft, more often than not, it'll be for a quarterback. But if you believe the reports that came out today, it's making it seem less and less likely that a team will trade up for a quarterback because now teams are saying that they're not so hot on Tua. So who knows if that's accurate or not? But if that's the case, Burrow's already up the board.
Yep.
Now all you really got is Herbert and maybe Love. Love I think's got a lot of upside, but I don't know if anybody's going to trade up. Maybe there's one. Maybe the Dolphins move up to 3 with the Lions. I really don't think the Giants are going to be able to trade down. I could be completely wrong. I think we're staying in at 4, and I think we're either going to go with the tackle or Simmons on draft night.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, if Tua's falling down the board, then maybe somebody wants to jump up and get Herbert. Maybe somebody wants to jump up and get Love. But yeah, Detroit kind of stands in a way. I know a lot of guys are like saying, about the Simmons. Detroit's going to Detroit. They could, but they just signed Collins, a similar player, and they got rid of Slay. I know they got Trufant in there, but still, there's a reason that they did that. There's a reason they made Slay expendable. And I think it's because they're going Jeff Okudah. They're very high in Jeff Okudah, and I could see him going there. But let me ask you this. I can ask the people in the chat the same thing. So say, Burrow, Chase Young, Isaiah Simmons goes 3rd. Will the Giants consider taking Jeff Okudah 4th?
I honestly don't think so. People have asked me that in the past. I honestly don't think so because if we hadn't drafted signed Bradbury 100%, I thought Okuda was one of the guys that people weren't talking about enough before we addressed Bradbury in free agency. But now you got Bradbury, you got DeAndre Baker, you got Beal. I like Okuda. I think Okuda's gonna be a great pro. I honestly don't see them taking him. If they're not taking Simmons, I think they're going tackle. Yeah. That's my honest opinion. And that's something that's not being talked about enough by Giants fans. Simmons could absolutely go number 3 to the Lions, even though they did sign Jamie Collins, who's a similar player. But he absolutely could. I still think it'll be Okuda.
I do too.
But don't rule out Simmons to the Lions. I agree with that. And Roldy, man, thank you so much, man, for the love, man. Roldy's a great subscriber of mine. We talk all the time on Twitter. He says, yes, I agree. We need an offensive lineman, Chris. But Simmons is a game changer. You got to take the best player. Again, I agree we need to protect Jones. But at the same time, we don't know if Jones is a franchise quarterback. No, Roldy, you're absolutely right. But either way, franchise quarterback or not. And I'm not saying that you're wrong with Simmons. This is an opinion. You know, some people are going to have Baddog's opinion. Some people are going to have my opinion.
It really is like 50-50, which is crazy.
There is no right answer.
There isn't.
You know what the right answer is, Baddog? I say it all the time. You know what the right answer is? We get a good player.
Yes.
Because both of them are needs. But as far as what Roldy says, my rebuttal to that, even if you don't know if Daniel Jones is the franchise quarterback or not, you still want to fix the offensive line, even if he's not, for the next incoming quarterback, right?
Yes.
So, you know, we got to fix the line, and it's been way too long. But thank you so much, man, for love. I really appreciate it. Malik with the $5 donation, he says, if we get a tackle next year, we might not even draft him because what if we win the Super Bowl? Oh, God. I don't know how, but just pray we can win more than 5 games. Malik, I love you, Malik. Don't count on a Super Bowl this year.
Nah. Yeah,
but I hope you're right, and I love the positivity. I really do. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. And my man Cruzon, great subscriber, both of ours, he says Tyreek Hill is a top wide receiver. That is the one. You're absolutely right, Cruzon. Somebody said that to me in my live stream the other night. That is one top receiver who got paid on his second-year deal. I think he was making $17 or $18 million. That did win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you mentioned it. You mentioned it. Mahomes' rookie contract.
That's what I was getting to. However, Pat Mahomes was on his rookie contract. So it's very rare that you have an established quarterback with a wide receiver. I don't think it's ever happened where you have both making a lot of money. But you're right. Tyreek Hill was making a lot of money. That is an outlier to what I said. Good. That's a good call. Johnny Morowski says, $2 donation, says, believe nothing you hear. It's the season of liars. Johnny, I completely agree with that. But the one thing I'll say, Baddog, recent history in drafts, usually when you hear things from Dave Gettleman, well, not from Dave Gettleman himself, but from the Giants insiders, it's happened. We heard 2 or 3 weeks leading up into the draft, Saquon Barkley. Barkley's wearing the Giants shirt at the laundromat, whatever it was. They took Saquon Barkley.
Yes, they did.
We heard 2 or 3 nights before the draft, they're taking Daniel Jones. Everybody said, no way.
Yeah, I said, nah, they ain't happening.
No way. They took Daniel Jones.
Yes, they did.
One thing I will say, recent history, at least with Gettleman's only had 2 drafts. The 2 names that have leaked right before the draft, Giants took. So that's all I'm going to say, Johnny. But you're right. We still got 3 more weeks of this.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do.
And thank you so much for the $2 donation. Okuda is very real at 4.
Okay.
I suppose anything's possible. I mean, if they're blown away by Okuda, but at this point in time, after getting Bradbury, I think Baddog, you'd agree with me. That's not even close to their biggest need at this point. As a matter of fact, you could argue it's one of their biggest strengths.
Yeah.
The cornerback position.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's something. I mean, the only way they trade. I don't know. I mean, I don't know who else would need Okuda, but maybe the Giants could trade back with somebody that wanted Jeff Okuda. I don't know how far he would fall if he passed the Lions. That's why draft night's very interesting because that type of thing happens where Jeff Okuda's going to go 3. And he doesn't, and then you're looking at the Giants don't need a corner. You're looking at the Dolphins, they don't need a corner. Looking at the Chargers, they don't need a corner. Where does he fall to?
Right.
He could fall all the way down to 12 to the Raiders. I mean, who knows?
You never know on draft night. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, perfect example. I remember Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be a top 3 or 4 pick. He fell to 20 whatever to the Packers. So that's just one example. It happens all the time. Geno Smith, as much as he sucked, people had him being a top 10 pick. He fell to the second round with the Jets. There's a number of players where you think they're going to go somewhere and they fall down, and it's all based on team need. If a team needs a cornerback in the top 5 and they pass on them, and there's not another team that wants a cornerback till 15, they could drop. I personally don't think Okuda would fall to the top 9, but you never know. I still think he's going to the Lions though, but don't rule Simmons out. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Blue Jackets talk. I appreciate the love, man. $2 donation. He says, I just think the offensive tackles could bust, unlike Simmons. I mean, anybody could bust. Simmons could bust. There's no guarantees in the NFL draft.
Nope.
I don't care how good Simmons looks on tape, and I agree. I agree with Baddog. I agree with everybody that wants Simmons. I am a fan of Simmons. I think Simmons is going to be a great talent in the NFL, but there are no locks in the NFL. There's no lock. I don't care what anybody tells me. And I know Giants fans point to failures at the offensive tackle position, and that's what they're scared of. But Baddog, eventually you got to hit. And a lot of these teams hit on first-round offensive tackles, and that's why they have good offensive lines. Look at the Dallas Cowboys.
The only thing I can say about this, I was going to say when's the last time we took a good tackle in the first round, but that was not Dave Gettleman drafting our tackle. Dave Gettleman has not drafted a tackle for the Giants yet. So, I mean, early, obviously. I forgot who the guy that he took in the seventh round last year.
George.
Yeah, George out of Kentucky, whatever it was. But he hasn't taken an impact tackle yet. Reese missed on both. Justin Pugh was a horrendous right tackle. He moved him to guard. He did a little bit better. He wasn't a bad guard, but we drafted him as a tackle out of Syracuse. And then we all know the train wreck that Eric Flowers was here at left tackle and right tackle and wherever the hell he played, in the locker room, whatever the hell you want to say. He was a train wreck everywhere. But most of Reese's draft picks were. So we got a different guy. There's a different sheriff in town. And again, I'm not going to, listen, if we go tackle, I'm not going to throw a fit if we take a tackle at number 4. We get Mekhi Becton, I'm a little pissed. I don't like him. And that's a major reach at number 4. Those other 3 guys, Wirfs, Wills, or Thomas at 4, I can live with that. I'd rather trade back and get them there. But if we can't, if we have no suitors and they decide that's the way they go, I'm not going to be pissed off that they pass on Isaiah Simmons. That's just the guy that I want them to draft.
No, I'm with you, man. Like I've said this whole time, it's a matter of preference at this point in time. And they're both huge needs. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Thank you guys so much for all your love, man. Malik Thompson with a $5 donation. He says, did you guys even think we would win Super Bowl 46? It's unpredictable. I remember that year they were going to fire Tom Coughlin. Malik Thompson, I remember every year they were going to fire Tom Coughlin. and every, it was the same thing, and they would always find a way to bring him back the next year. And I'm with you, but let's be fair, Baddog.
I think that was 42, though. That was Super Bowl 42. We were 10-6 in 2010.
Yeah.
So, I think it was 42 he was going to get fired.
Yeah, but either way, you're right. Nobody thought the Giants were going to win a Super Bowl that year. As a matter of fact, going into the year, that was the dream team, the Eagles. The Giants lose Steve Smith. Everybody. But let's be fair here, Baddog. We had an established, Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Right,
and
in his prime.
Talent. Yeah, and we had some talent on the defensive end. Malik, I hope you're right, man. I'm not telling you to go into the season with negative aspects.
I hope you're right,
go
too.
Into the season. Yeah, I hope you're right.
I hope he's right, too. Please.
But I'm not banking on it. That's what I'll say. You never know, though. And that Cruz, man, thanks so much for the love, man. $5 donation. He says, the same fans that won Simmons over an offensive tackle will be the same fans destroying Daniel Jones for not being developed like the other young quarterbacks. And that's one thing I'll say, Baddog. I agree with Cruz on there. I'm not saying you're going to do that. But for the people... if the offensive line is bad, if we take Simmons, those people can't get on Daniel Jones for not playing well.
They can't.
He's getting hit every time he drops back in the pocket because we passed up on Jedrek Wills. You can't get upset because you want Simmons.
I know who Cruzon's talking about. The guy that calls Daniel Jones number 8. I think that's who he's talking about. But yeah.
Jeffrey Abbey,
he loves Simmons.
Maybe he doesn't know Daniel Jones' name. He might not know Daniel Jones' name.
It's pretty standard.
And thank you so much for the $5 donations. Guys, sorry I have to go. Please keep doing these going. Chris, remember $100 for a, that's right, Iron Maiden. Yes, he wants me to sing Iron Maiden. I'll do that in an upcoming stream. I appreciate the love, man. I'm holding you to this, but not tonight. Take care. You have a great night, man. Thank you for being a great supporter. And Al, man, Al's awesome subscriber of mine, man. I really appreciate the love. $20 donation. He says, no offensive line at number 4. Baddog, just subscribe and like what you were saying. See, you're the best, but just woke up from your post-ranking G-Men at 30. One game against the Redskins, expected to win. Yeah, I'm not saying that, Al, but that's what the experts said. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Giants will be a competitive team. I like this coaching staff. I'm glad you subscribed to Baddog. He's got a great channel over there. We'll be on his channel next week. And thank you so much, man, for the love. And Al is with you. He does not want to take the offensive lineman at 4.
My man Al. Let's go, baby. Let's get some defense in here.
He believes in trading down and getting attacked.
Yeah, no, I'm all about that. Absolutely.
Yeah, if we're going to do it.
Yep.
And Jacob, thank you so much for the love, man. $2 donation says, if we draft Brown, the TV's getting broken. Jacob, yeah, I think a lot of TVs around the tri-state area will get broken.
Derek Brown, no. I don't want him. That'll make me mad. That'll make me mad. Not gonna lie.
Oh my God, I don't know if Al made a mistake. He donated twice, the same exact donation. Al, man, thank you so much, man. If that's an action, I will give you the $20 back. I'm sorry. He donated twice, Al. Thank you so much, man, for the love, man. I really appreciate it, man. Always emailing me, showing me a lot of love. He's actually from Texas. We have a bet, Baddog. We have a bet that if I think if it's the Giants take Simmons, nobody wins. If the Giants take an offensive tackle, he has to buy me tickets to a game. And if the Giants take a wide receiver or Derek Brown, I think I have to buy him tickets to a game. So that's the bet we got going on.
All right. I like your chances, Chris.
You never know.
With Gettleman, you don't. What if they draft a Cuda?
You never know, man. Cuda, that's a good question. We might have to throw that into the bet.
By the way, I like the name, though. Al Batts. Sounds like a guy that's going to go collect money for you if somebody owes you.
He's part of the shovel. He's part of the shovel.
He is. I'm going to get my man Al Batts to take care of something right quick. It doesn't surprise me, Chris. You're Italian. You got a couple Al Battses in you. You know how we do it.
Once again, thank you to everybody for tuning in. And go ahead and ask your questions, guys. We're obviously talking a lot of NFL draft. Free agency's over with. And yeah, in terms of the biggest needs after what we've talked about, we've pretty much talked about offensive tackle. We've talked about, the center, the offensive tackle, the middle linebacker that can cover. Obviously, we need an edge rusher. There's a number of guys did a video on that last night that I like in the later rounds 3 to 6. We need a coverage slot corner potentially to give us more versatility in the secondary, and potentially a free safety, a center fielder. There's a lot of needs for the New York Giants that hopefully they can fill at least 3 or 4 of them in this draft. Yeah.
Well, the one thing I'll say about Gettleman, he's done a nice job drafting. I mean, that's one thing you could say. A lot of his players have made impacts in rookie years. Lorenzo Carter took a step back, so did B.J. Hill, but the rookie seasons, they were nice. Barkley, we see how great Saquon Barkley is. And Barkley's the best running back in the league when he's healthy, there's no doubt. Daniel Jones had an up-and-down rookie season as far as the fumbling goes, but the guy threw 24 touchdowns in 12 games. That's pretty good for a rookie with no lineman, a guy that didn't have Barkley for 5 games, didn't have Golden Tate for 2 games, didn't have Sterling Shepard for 3 games, didn't have Darius Slade for a game, didn't have Evan Ingram. Who the hell is Daniel Jones throwing to? Eagle fans talking about Carson Wentz. Daniel Jones is throwing to nobody, throwing to Caden Smith. Throwing to Russell Shepard. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. And his right tackle and left tackle weren't helping him out either. He had no help last year. Daniel Jones did as good of a job, I think, as you could have hoped for outside of the fumbling problems. But you're going to fumble when your right and left tackle are giving up pressure every other play. So, I agree with you. He didn't have the best.
That's what I said. I mean, come on, man. I said, you know what? Let me, all these guys are, Daniel Jones is fumbling problem. I'm going to tell you what. You stand someplace with a football in your hand and look this way. And I'm not going to tell you when it's coming, but I'm going to have a 320-pound guy drill you in the back without you seeing it coming. And we'll see if you hold on to the ball, too.
Hence, offensive tackle, guys. I'm just saying. Jersey Joey, man, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Great subscriber, both of us. He says, both of you guys have made this nightmare we are all going through the more bearable. A sincere thank you. Chris, the coffee is getting cold. That's my joke every time I go live. The coffee gets cold. He says, dog, buy him a damn mug warmer, will you? Big Blue. Jersey Joey, man, I really appreciate the love, man. And the Jay who swings snakes with a $2 donation, he says, for Passover, can I make a lasagna with matzah?
With matzah.
I actually like matzah. You ever had matzah?
I have not.
Matzo ball soup is pretty good. I actually do enjoy it.
I've not had
and Prince Andy Isaac with a $2 donation. He says, Simmons at 4 and trade up to grab Ruiz and Jay Jones. You fill some holes that way. It depends on Josh Jones is probably going to go 18th to the Dolphins, depending on where the other offensive linemen go, because I don't think the Dolphins are going to wait till 26. I don't know if you're going to be able to move that far up to get Josh Jones. Ruiz is certainly on the New York Giants radar at 36, though, for sure.
He definitely is.
And thank you so much for the love, guys. You guys are incredible tonight. Thank you to everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any. Oh, man. L.A. Lou! Another great supporter of both of our channels. He's a Rams fan, but he actually supports the Giants. He had us going 10-6 preseason, Baddog.
I know. L.A. Lou is very high in the Giants always. He is.
Lou with a $10 donation. He says, hey, everyone, holding up well. Giants are in a good position to add talent. Don't overpay your draft capital. Add Simmons in the first and a left tackle in the second. Chris, I like that Tuska, too. I don't know if you had a chance to see this Tuska guy. I mentioned him in my video last night. This guy killed it at the combine. He's from North Dakota State. He's I think he ran a 4.740, but his 3-cone drill was the best of any defensive end prospect. He's a guy you really want to keep an eye on 4th, 5th, 6th round, he's really moved up mock charts, Lou. And I'm sure the Rams are going to be looking at him too. I've seen the Steelers are looking at him. The one thing I want to say that I really am keeping an eye on with a lot of the prospects I'm looking at, especially in the later rounds, because I think in the early rounds you're just going to take the best athlete. But in rounds 3 to 7, I think the Giants are going to take guys that have familiarity with the coaching staff. They have the Penn State defensive line coach. Expect them to maybe look at a guy from Penn State. Expect them to look at a guy from Tennessee. They got the Tennessee linebacker coach. They got a Georgia linebacker coach. They've got a lot of guys coming from college. I expect them to potentially target, or even Alabama guys, right? Obviously, Judge coach there with Saban. I think they will target guys like that in the later rounds of the draft.
See, that's the thing. I mean, I understand that in the later rounds of the draft, but when you get to that point, I think you got to take best available. I don't think you can sit there and just bring guys in because they coach.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, because they're playing against different talent in college. And I say this all the time. Some guys are better because of the surroundings. You know, you and I always use the Legion of Boom because Byron Maxwell was great in Seattle. But he could get, when you have Earl Thomas back there, a lot of your mistakes get covered up. He goes to Philadelphia, he stinks. Right. So that happens in college too, man. You got a lot of talent around you. You play well because other guys are focused on the other talent. And so, I don't know. I'm.
Well, look at Landon Collins. Landon Collins was great.
God.
He was great when we had Janoris Jenkins playing great, when we had this great DRC.
Sucks.
But then when the talent got worse, you asked him to do more, he got exposed. So
he's awful. He stinks. I hate Landon Collins. Have I ever mentioned that before?
I apologize, guys. I shouldn't have brought that name up. Baddog's allergic to the name.
I hate Landon Collins. Talking more crap, by the way. Talking more crap. Keep talking. How the hell does a guy get overpaid by like $40 million? Hasn't had an interception in 2.5 years. Last one off of Travis Kelce, mind you, on some fake play that had Travis Kelce throwing against the Giants a couple years ago, and the Giants beat Kansas City that year. I think it's the last 500 team we beat, by the way. And he got $84 million, and he's still mad at the Giants. What the hell is wrong with you? Thank your lucky stars. You got $84 million. You've had one interception in 3 years, and you suck. And you get undressed by every tight end in the league. You got beat by Caden Smith and lost the game in overtime. Caden Smith whipped it out, took a leak on an $84 million safety.
I like it.
I like him too. Why'd you have to bring up Landon Collins? You see how fired up I get? I can't stand Landon Collins. I hate Landon Collins.
And Malik, man, thank you so much for the love, man. $2 donation. He says Eli Manning knows that feeling, Baddog.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, we both love Eli Manning.
I mean, Carson Wentz fumbles a lot too, but nobody says anything about that.
That's true.
He's fumbled 47 times in his career. That's a lot. It's a lot of fumbles.
And he's got a much better offensive line than Dan Jones could ever dream of.
Yeah.
Cruz, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says the hate for Daniel Jones makes 0 sense.
It doesn't.
My opinion on the hate for Daniel Jones is I think a lot of people had the initial thought process that Baddog and myself did on draft night. And I think a lot of people are stubborn and aren't willing to reevaluate, and admit they were wrong. And that, that I'm not talking about fans per se. I'm talking more about like the experts, like
of course.
Like some of these guys, McShay, that that continue to say that this guy is not a starting NFL quarterback. Now, I'm not ready to say that I know he's going to be a franchise quarterback, but I'm definitely willing to say that he potentially could be. And we need to continue to build around this kid and see what he's got. But yeah, I think the hate comes from just people not willing to change their initial opinion of a prospect.
Yeah, they are stubborn, especially when they come to New York. They don't want to look bad. Plus, he messed up everybody's mock draft, Chris. Yeah, that's another reason they got all mad at him. But the other thing is, how much was Eli Manning hated? I mean, how much hate did Eli Manning take? This is a guy that's top 10 in every major passing category, won 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and they're still saying he's not a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's overrated. And I always say, how could Eli Manning be overrated when everybody hates on him? Overrated means you're giving the guy too much credit. Nobody gave, if anything, he's underrated as a quarterback.
Right.
Jesus, the media pisses me off.
It's hard to be underrated when everybody says you suck. So I agree.
Yeah, come on, man.
And Johnny, thank you so much for the $5 donation. He says, did you guys have any favorites in the draft that you would like to see on the Giants outside of the first round? Me, I went Trey Adams, offensive tackle, Washington. Trey Adams is interesting in the 3rd round at 99, maybe even in the 4th, at the early 4th round pick. Adams was a guy that he was graded as being one of the best tackles in this class if you go back a year ago, but he's had a lot of injury problems. He is huge. He's massive. That's a good one, Johnny. I said it last night, man. I actually really like Darrell Taylor I mentioned him. He was a guy that I did some research when I was looking up late round edge rusher prospects. I like the connection. I like the versatility that he could bring to the New York Giants if they take him the third or the fourth. He's played with our linebackers coach. That's a guy I got my eye on. There's a number of guys, though. The guy we were just talking about from North Dakota State, that's another edge rusher I really like. There's a couple of guys, a lot of wide receivers I like in the later rounds. But, yeah, that's a good one you bring up. Trey Adams is a guy that the Giants could definitely look at in the third or fourth round, Johnny. And Philly 500. What's going on, Philly, man? Thank you so much for loving him. Again, I got to shout him out. How could you not shout out Philly 500?
You got to love him.
With the $5 donation, he says, I want to make sure I didn't miss it. He says, the pick that scares me is Isaiah Simmons. I think you got to take him. He is just too good to pass up. Hashtag Dolphins love. Hashtag NASA Dog. Hashtag
virus face.
Adreno.
I know virus face, Philly.
Yeah, I mean, Philly, I know you're a huge fan. We had him on the channel. He talked about it. Yeah, I mean, Isaiah Simmons is a perfect modern-day linebacker. He's a guy that can cover. He can do everything, like Baddog was saying earlier. So I completely get the fixation with Isaiah Simmons. And like I've said this entire time, if they take him, you're going to see me smile ear to ear. I'll be buying his jersey on draft night. I just want to make sure that they address the offensive line because I think it's incredibly important for a second-year quarterback learning a new offense and a guy that was getting hit more than anybody last year. I think it's something that needs to be a prime focus.
Yeah. Dire Giants fan, thanks for dropping my channel link in the description. Also, I see we got almost 400 people in here. We got 107 likes. Hit that like button, people. Come on, baby. Spike a little like. Click that thumbs up button. Let's see that thing climb.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and go check out the link by Dire Giants fan after the stream whenever, and we'll be doing the same thing next Thursday or Friday, whatever it may be, on Baddog's channel. So thank you guys for being here. Jaden hits with a $2 donation. LL, people are still thinking the pick thinking about the pick. It's Wirfs. We'll see. You know, Wirfs was a guy the Giants were connected to before the combine, which is why I've had the Giants taking Wirfs in my last two mocks because they liked him supposedly before the combine. And you would think they only like him more after. He had the best, combine by all standards at the offensive tackle position. I think Wirfs is definitely on the radar. I think
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think any one of those tackles are on the radar in Simmons. I would be surprised if it's anyone else, but any one of those five players we could be taking. Me too. For sure.
JMG says, Baddog, what are your thoughts on CeeDee Lamb? CeeDee Lamb's the best receiver in this draft. Not by a lot. I always say he and Judy are 1 and 1A. You could say I'm a little biased because I'm a Sooners fan, but I'm telling you, Judy's a little faster. They're about the same size. They both are home run hitters. They can take anything. I've seen CeeDee Lamb take a lot of slants to the house. And like I said, Judy's a little faster. They both run great routes. They both have good hands. But CeeDee Lamb's catch radius is unreal. And I say this, we've been watching him at Oklahoma for 3 years. I can tell you, man, he was, and I'm not comparing him to Odell Beckham. I'm not saying this guy's going to beat Odell Beckham, but he makes catches like Odell Beckham. I haven't seen anybody else that I've watched make catch. Just go and type like CeeDee Lamb catch or something when you get a chance in the in YouTube. It didn't count because he landed out of bounds, but just to show you the hands this guy has, ridiculous catches that he makes. I think Lamb is 1. I think Judy's 1A, but I love CeeDee Lamb. He's my favorite receiver in this draft.
Flip a coin. I mean, they're both incredibly talented. Yeah. As is Henry Ruggs, but Henry Ruggs to me is more of a speedster. He's not as complete as the other two.
It's D-Jax. I'll agree. That's why I was in Philly 500 stream earlier today. I said I don't want the Eagles to get Ruggs. I don't want that there. I don't want Ruggs in this division because I just have nightmares of Deshaun Jackson torching us for years, and I can see Henry Ruggs doing the same thing. So please, somebody draft Ruggs. Don't let the Eagles get that guy. I do not want Ruggs in this. Not that he's the best or not as good as those other two guys, but the speed, the 4.27 speed. And he's got great hands. I don't want Ruggs in this division.
And it doesn't match up with our corners.
No,
please. DeAndre Baker's not known for speed.
No corners are running 4.27s. Get him out of this division.
Exactly. And Prince, thank you so much for the $5 donation. What safeties do you think we could grab in the later? Well, of course, the guys that you hear about, if we're going to take a safety that's going to have an impact, I think it's going to be in the second round, like a guy like McKinney, a guy like Delpit. Winfield's another guy you've heard. Winfield's supposed to be a good center fielder. So those are the three safeties. In terms of the really late rounds, to be honest with you, I've not done enough research at that position in the 4 to 7 round range. But those are the three safeties if we're going to take one in the second round that we could be looking at. Winfield, Delpit, McKinney. So those would be the three guys.
I see my girl Batgirl's in the chat. Batgirl made it.
I'm glad to see she's doing all right. I haven't seen her in a while. Batgirl, thank you for being here. And LA Lou with the $5 donation. He says, I still say the Giants would have done better with better coaching. Barkley was misused and the defense played soft and scared. LA Lou, I agree with that. I completely agree with that. I think coaching has a lot to do with it. You look at the Patriots, Baddog. The Patriots never have the most talent in football, yet they always win 12 games.
Great coaching. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Coaches get the most. That is a coach's job. You get the most out of your players' talents, which is why I love Joe Judge saying, don't tell me what these guys can't do. Tell me what they can do. So he's going to play to their strengths, which is what McAdoo didn't do, which is what Shermer didn't do. Shermer lost control of the team. How the hell is DeAndre, not to go on a different tangent, but how the hell is DeAndre Baker sleeping? You have a rookie sleeping in your freaking meetings and you do nothing about it? Well, yeah. I mean, my God. I mean, Shermer, thank God
he should have been benched the next couple of games. You have to have some discipline. That's one thing that if it's true, a lot of people on Twitter said, you don't know if it's true. All right, I'll say if it's true. I don't think Jordan Rand is risking his job to lie about something like that. But if it's true, that is something that Joe Judge will not put up with. If he does that with Joe Judge, he's on the first bus out of here.
Yeah,
he's gone.
I mean, it sounds like it could be true. The guy said he didn't know the playbook week 11 into the season. So he's lazy. Yeah, obviously he was lazy or didn't want to play for these guys. And, Joe Judge, the guy's got a lot of talent. And it's funny, in the first round last year, we took two guys I didn't want in the Giants draft. I wanted them to get DeAndre Baker and I wanted them to get Dexter Lawrence. I just didn't expect them to get Daniel Jones. I wanted Josh Allen. We all know how that turned out. That night, anyway. Right.
But we're happy right now with Daniel
Jones. Yes, we are.
Sure. Barbowski, thank you so much for the $2 donation. He says, let's put Simmons behind our talented D-line. Hey, man, he can do a lot of – you're right. I mean, behind that D-line, one thing we're pretty strong at right now, which I guess you could argue would be Simmons' weakness. If he has one, he's probably not the best in terms of run defense. He's not a big body, things like that. We do have the type of defensive line that can clog the run holes, and we need a guy in coverage. So it's a good point you bring up, Barbowski. He's the type of linebacker that we need. We also have Blake Martinez, who is known to be a guy more of a run defensive type linebacker.
The other thing I love about Simmons is this. In this day and age, a lot of your quarterbacks are mobile. Simmons can chase down these quarterbacks. It says he can be a guy that can spy your mobile quarterbacks. If you're playing against a Russell Wilson or you're playing against a Pat Mahomes, you're playing against I'm trying to think of other mobile quarterbacks. I mean, Carson Wentz really can't move the way he used to. Dak Prescott. I mean, there's a perfect example of a guy that, we really need an Isaiah Simmons for, because Dak Prescott on 3rd and 6 is one of those guys that throws the quick slant for the first down or he runs for the first down. And right. Isaiah Simmons can take both of that away. He can spy the quarterback, and he has such great closing speed on the little quick slant. That's why I like Simmons so much. I just think that's the type of thing that can get us off the damn field. So
those are the types of players you need in today's NFL to take away the modern day quarterback. All the quarterbacks could run.
Yeah.
Pretty much Daniel Jones could run. Every quarterback could run nowadays. Any new quarterback Joe Burrow could run.
Right.
You look at all these quarterbacks. Tua can move. All these guys coming out could move.
Yeah. Herbert can move. Herbert's very similar to Daniel Jones. So
Herbert, yeah. And thank you so much, Reggie, for the $2 donation. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that, guys. But yeah, guys, go ahead and ask your questions, man. I'm having a lot of fun. I don't have the time on me because what time we got?
9:54.
Oh, wow. We still got a while to go, guys. So Thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate it. And once again, if you guys have not subscribed to Baddog Sports, we'll be doing this show next week on his channel. We're going to be live streaming the draft. The first round will be on one of ours. Second round will be on the other one. And we'll definitely be doing a lot of Giant streams together this year as well. So, we always work together, guys. So be sure to check him out. And, he's putting up Giants content just like me. So I appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you very much. And thank you guys for being the best supporters on YouTube. L.A. Lou with the $2 donation. He says, I'll get to Batgirl's question in a second. She hasn't been here for a while. Definitely got to get that. L.A. Lou says, Batgirl wants to know who plays quarterback for the Pats. Okay, so she asked it right below L.A. Lou.
Right.
I think they're going with the rookie from last year. If I had to guess, what's his name?
Stidham. Jared Stidham.
I think they're going with Jared Stidham from what I've read. But they could definitely take Love. Maybe Tua falls to them from some of the things that you're reading. I think they could definitely take quarterback.
Can you imagine Tua falling to the Patriots? Give him another dynasty. Give him another dynasty.
I'm not saying it will, but it could.
Can you imagine Tua going from playing from Nick Saban and playing for Bill Belichick? I mean, my God. I mean, those are two of the greatest coaches in the history of football.
Yeah. But if you had to pick a free agent right now, which one do you think is the most likely to end up there? Whether it's Dalton, Newton,
Newton. Cam.
You think he's the most likely?
I think Cam's the most talented out of all of them.
I think he might be the most talented.
And Andy Dalton stinks. The hell with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's done. Nobody should take Andy Dalton. Although if Tannehill's going to get $32 million. Tannehill. What? What the hell is Tennessee doing? $32 million for Tannehill? I'm gonna warm my arm up, Chris. See if I can throw a football around a little bit. I mean, my arm strength has to be almost as good as Tannehill's. Jesus.
I think you're right though. I think they're going with Stidham at least to start the year. And
sorry, Captain Tripp. Sorry, I know you're a Titans fan, but come on, man. You could have had Cam Newton. You could have got Cam in there. I would have rather had Cam or Jameis Winston over Tannehill.
Yeah, Jameis Winston's got a lot of upside too if he goes to the right team. I think he's going to end up with the Steelers if I had to guess. And Reggie Jones, man, thank you so much, man, for the love, man. $5 donation, really appreciate it. And I think I got a couple more, man. You guys are the best, man. Thank you guys for being here. Malik with a $5 donation. He says, we have the 4th best run defense with my boy, Baby. He loves that nickname, Baby Snacks.
Baby
Chubby
Snacks.
Cookie Monster. And
Chubby Cookie Monster. Dalvin.
Chris, I love the new thing you're doing, man. I don't know what new thing you're talking about, but I appreciate it, man. And I love all your nicknames, that's for sure. And I think our run defense is going to be really good this year. I think the Giants' 2 strengths on defense. Now you could argue how strong it is, but their 2 strengths are definitely that defensive line in terms of the run defense and the cornerback position. I think the cornerback position is pretty good. I think DeAndre Baker's going to have a good sophomore season. So I think that those are 2 areas where you don't got to really worry about in this year's draft.
Real quick, I just, right underneath Kid Blues, I just see Jason Ramsey says, would you like to see Fromm play for the Pats? I'll tell you what, if there's one organization that Fromm would succeed with, it is the Patriots. I'm not a big Fromm fan, or as my boy Uncle Lou says, Jack Fromm, being that he's a Georgia fan. Even Uncle Lou don't like Fromm. But Fromm got arrested for going into a facility and training without anybody knowing there, by the way. He's an idiot. But if anybody can get the most out of Fromm, it's Belichick. That's a very possible landing spot.
That's not a bad one. 2nd, 3rd round. I've seen Fromm probably going in the 3rd. That's not a bad potential suitor. That's a good call, Fromm to the Patriots.
What about the Packers? Do you think there's any way the Packers take a quarterback?
Yeah, I do think it's possible.
You think if Love falls at 30th that they could take Love right there?
Saints at 24 too.
Yep, Saints definitely.
Yeah. And I'm a big fan of Jordan Love. I've watched him on tape. If he goes to the right situation like the Patriots, the Saints, I think he's going to be really good. Because I think about what Sean Payton could do with him. I think it's going to depend on where he goes, but I think if he goes to the right spot, I think he could be really good. This is why
I really believe that Daniel Jones can have a huge year, because I think that Jason Garrett's going to get a lot out of Daniel Jones. I really do. And I know Cowboy fans want to laugh at that, but I try to tell them, like, listen, man, when he was your OC, he was doing a damn good job with Tony Romo. He did a damn good job with Tony Romo. And Dak Prescott's a 4th-round talent that plays a lot better than a 4th-round talent. I'll give him credit for that. He plays a lot better than that. He's probably a top 10 quarterback in this league, and Romo developed him too. So
no, for sure. That to me is the thing that drew me in when we brought in Garrett. You look what he did with Romo and Dak. I mean, he got a lot out of not the most talented quarterbacks in the world when they were first coming into the league. Right. So I agree with you. I think he's going to do a good job with us. And Kid Blue, if you guys have not done so, please go on over to his channel. He had a great April Fool's joke yesterday.
I knew that was. As soon as
he did that last year.
Did he? Oh, I don't even remember. I just went in there as soon as because when you're scrolling down, you get the closed captioning, and I see him say I'm done with his team, so I click on the video and I pause it and I go, I haven't watched 1 second of this, but I'm gonna say it has something to do with the date, and sure enough, it did.
The Kid was a great guy. Hopefully we get to go to another Giants game with him this year. And he said
he's in.
What did you say?
He said he's in this year.
Oh, we're doing it.
We are doing it.
He says we have, as long as he's not an Eagles fan, he says we have to try to get a Giants roundtable going on. A bunch of Giants YouTubers in a live stream talking some football. Great show as always, guys. I really appreciate that, Kid Blue. And let's do that. Let's do that this week. We'll set up a what's the thing that Fish Vegas uses? We'll do that.
StreamYard,
we'll do the stream. Yeah. We'll do the StreamYards. I'll have to try to figure that out. I'll have 4 or 5 Giants YouTubers on. Even if it's edited and not live, we'll figure it out. And we'll talk about the offseason. I would love to do that, Kid Blue. So thank you so much, man, for the love, man. I really appreciate it. And go on over there and check them out. And once again, thank you to everybody for being here. Go ahead and ask me questions, guys. And let's go Giants.
Let's go Giants, of course.
What's going on, MH? Thanks for being here, man. What's going on, Justin Leon? Thanks for being here, buddy. Johnny T in the house, over 400 in the house. Woot, woot. Yeah, appreciate that, guys. Spike that like. And don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell. More importantly, go on over to Baddog's channel. Go check him out. I want to go to the moon. I want to go home. All right, Sonor, you go do that, man.
Yeah, MH, I'll touch my face. I wash my hands. I'm not worried about it. Nobody in here. I'm good. We're good. We're clean. We're good. There's no cases up here. I'm fine.
Big Drake says, get a table of Giants YouTubers to tell Eagle jokes. Oh, we could tell Eagle jokes all day.
Oh,
Philly
of course.
500 would laugh his ass off.
Yeah, Philly 500 loves when I do that. The Eagle fans love when I needle them. That's part of my charm is needling the Eagles fans. Somebody just asked me, I think it was Cushman, asked me what I think about Jalen Hurts. I think I said this before. He said he thinks he stinks. I don't think Jalen Hurts is starting quarterback material in the NFL, but I do think he's a rich man's Taysom Hill. I think he can fill in and be effective if somebody goes down, but I think you can use him in a lot of gadget plays. I think you can line him up wide. I think you can run him. I think you can run him out of the Wildcat. There's a lot of things you can do with Jalen Hurts, like the Saints do with Taysom Hill. So I think that's what Jalen Hurts will be in the NFL. I see him probably a third-round pick somewhere, maybe a fourth-round pick. I don't really know, but I definitely think a team could use him the way the Saints use Taysom Hill, and I think he'd be very effective in that role in the NFL.
Yeah, and you never know. You never know what he could turn into, because people were saying similar things about Lamar Jackson, and obviously the Ravens got the right type of offense around him. They brought in a really good offense, so you never know. But I tend to agree with Bad Dog. I think he's going to be a third or fourth round pick. I don't necessarily know if he's going to be a guy that's going to be a traditional quarterback, but he definitely could be a very valuable weapon in the NFL. And I think the third or fourth round is probably where he's going to go, maybe the fifth, but in that 3 to 5 range.
Right.
And let's see what we got here. So who's going to throw a book across the room if the Giants draft Derek Brown? If the Giants draft Derek Brown, you might see more than a book.
Yeah, I'm going to be happy. Because I did chuck the book across. It was a Knicks book, and that deserved to be thrown anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But
yeah. You see, Wino Clowney, versatile and is a force in the run game as well as quarterback pressures, could also help progression of Carter and Simmons. Clowney, at this point, Clowney's price is probably about $17 million. The only way you're bringing him in is if you rescind the tag on Leonard Williams. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I know, but the thing that I've read, and it makes sense, that people are scared off with Clowney is the injury history. The guy's been banged up his entire 6-year career. And, even last year where he played most of the games, he played hurt.
And he had 3 sacks.
And I think that's for 1 year, I don't mind it. But I think that's the mindset with Clowney, and I think that's why the Giants haven't looked into him. Now, if that price lowers to 14 or 15, maybe you see the Giants get interest, but I think you'll see a lot of teams get interest at that price. Yeah. So I don't expect them to come here.
I don't expect them to come here either. And if they were going to bring anybody back, I figured it would have been Marcus Golden, but it doesn't sound like they're going to bring him back either. So,
Ryan said his price is down to like $8 million.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody's taking a flyer on him, honestly.
Yeah, it's the same thing with him, though. He's got injury history. It's the same thing. And Zach Smith, man, thank you so much for the $5 donation. He says, I was ruthlessly savage to 49er fans when they lost the Super Bowl in Fist Vegas' live stream. Next time you talk to Fist, bring that topic up. I definitely will, and I'm sure Baddog will as well. So thank you, Zach, for the love, man. I really appreciate it. And we got time. There's another guy that's trying to build his channel. He's in my Discord. He's always telling me about he's interviewing all these players, so go check him out. He says, what's going on, guys? Just getting some random thought with the shots Baker threw at Jones. I just hope we destroy Cleveland this year. Great job. That's the game I want to go to, Bad Dog. I hope it fits everybody's schedule.
I said the same thing. Cleveland or Dallas. Those are the two games I want to go to.
I would love to go to the Cleveland Browns game to get to see Beckham play his old team and Baker Mayfield. And obviously there's some bad blood there between the two franchises. Freddie Kitchens coaching against his old team. Yeah. So there's a lot of good storylines in that game. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game.
Hey, listen, man. No matter what game it is, I can always take the next day off. I got a lot of sick and personal time, so you let me know if it's a night game. I don't care. You just spend the night on Sunday and go back home on Monday. That's not a big deal.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. As long as I want it to be a game that I want to try to get a lot of people this year. So I'm gonna we're gonna talk to you guys every live stream and we'll figure it out. But I want to get a game that a lot of people could go to, and hopefully we can all meet up and have a good time before the game. Maybe even get there the night before, like we did last year with a lot of people. Go out, go drinking, whatever it may be. Yep. So should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, my boys are back in, man. My brother-in-law, he's in, and DWG, he's in. No, we're good. We're ready to go.
Big Daddy says, I want to see us destroy the Browns. Yeah, Big Daddy, man. Big Daddy, great subscriber, man. I appreciate everything you do for my channel. Yeah, if no, I shouldn't say that. The Cowboys, the Eagles, or the Browns. You win those games this year, I'm happy. I'm not expecting a Super Bowl. Beat those teams and beat the hell out.
Beat those teams, yeah. Beat their ass. Beat their ass, and I want to see Odell get lit up.
Yeah.
One time.
Let's get Bradbury shuts him down for no.
I just feel Jabril Peppers lay the wood to him one time, blindside his ass, just knock him.
Isn't it Giants? Isn't it a? Yes, it is, Gavin. It is. Well, we talk everything, but we talk a lot of Giants in my Discord. If that's what you're asking. Let's see what we got here. Your breakdown was great of potential Jags trade, Chris. What do you think the chances are if that actually happens? Scale 1 to 10. I would say like a 2 or a 3. I honestly don't think it's going to happen. I don't think, especially with the reports that are coming out about Tua today, I don't think teams are going to be willing to trade up to take a quarterback. I really don't. I could be wrong. And if there was a team that I would like, that is the one scenario that I'm in love with. If you could trade down and get 9 and 20, that's even better than the Raiders 12 and 19. Yep. That is a slam dunk. That is the perfect spot. I just don't think it's going to happen. I could be wrong, though. The Jaguars are in rebuild mode. If they're in love with a quarterback, maybe they say, let's get our quarterback and build from there. They also could, if you're talking Jaguars, you could also incorporate Ngakoue. Of course, he's been rumored they're trying to get rid of him. Maybe you don't get 9 and 20. Maybe you get Ngakoue instead of the 20. You get creative there, but I just don't see it. I honestly don't see it.
Yeah.
Rick, man, thank you, man. Great subscriber of mine. He says, love you guys. Tell me who you like rounds 2 and on. Baddog, I'll let you go. I did my 7-round mock draft.
I haven't done mine yet.
Your second round, maybe even your third round target. Who are you looking at the second, third, maybe the fourth round? What guys you looking at?
I haven't done it yet. I like I said, second round, Bourne, Ruiz, Delpit. If Bourne and Delpit fall down there, I think Ruiz will be there at 36. And then I haven't really gone past there. Like I said, I like Colin Johnson later in the rounds, without a doubt. Gandy Golden is one later in the rounds as far as receivers go. But I really haven't gotten that far. I actually mentioned the video that I did before we started streaming. I got to work on that this weekend. I got to go through the Giants 7-round mock because I do want to get one of those up. I'm hoping to get it up on Sunday, but still working 7:30 to 4. And with budgets,
it's not easy.
With budgets due they were supposed to be due today, and this morning they pushed it back to next week. But I've been spending the last 3 days actually going into the office and working on that, and then I'm not getting home till 7 o'clock again. So it's been hard to do anything. So I'm hoping tomorrow I can work on that 7-round mock and get that thing up on the page by Sunday. So I haven't really looked at it yet, but I am going to work on that this weekend.
Yeah, and as far as mine, second round, I'm looking. It depends what we do in the first. Yeah, everything's predicated on what we do in the first. But if we take Isaiah Simmons, I'm hoping Austin Jackson, Josh Jones is there, could take potentially one of them. If not, I want to go with center with a guy like Ruiz. If not that, like Baddog said, then you're looking at a guy like Bourne. I like Bourne a lot out of Wisconsin, has ties to Bielema. Or even a guy like Delpit in the second round, third round. You're looking at potentially a wide receiver. You're looking at potentially a linebacker if you didn't take Simmons. I've mentioned a guy like Dye out of Oregon. He's a good coverage linebacker. Or a wide receiver there, whether it's Claypool. One of these guys I've mentioned, Hodges. He's more of a 4th or 5th round guy. Yeah, wide receiver in the 3 to 5 round range. And then after that, you're just looking to fill in some holes. Yeah. Whether it's a safety, whether it's a running back, whether it's a depth on the guard or the tackle. That's what we're looking at. But yeah, I've mentioned a bunch of my guys. I've mentioned the guy from North Dakota State. I really like the edge rusher. So I'll definitely be covering more and more late round prospects. But I appreciate the love, man. Thank you very much. MYG31 with the $2 donation. He says, let's beat the crap out of these Browns this year. You're damn right.
Yeah.
You're damn right. Let's beat the crap out of these Browns. And NYG31's got a channel too, man. Thank you so much, man, for popping in, man. I appreciate the love, man. And thank you for posting our Baddog's channel, Dire Giants fan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Dire Giants fan. The man. He's the man.
Gandy Golden 4.6040. Chase Claypool.
Listen,
4.42. Yeah.
I don't think Chase Claypool's falling to 99. I think that's a pipe dream that he gets all the way down to the 3rd round. So Gandy Golden might be, and I'm not looking at Gandy Golden in the 3rd round anyway. I'm talking later in the rounds. But like I said, the Colin Johnson's, that's the guy that I like in the 4th or 5th round. If he falls that far, is Colin Johnson.
He's fallen to at least the 4th. From what I've read, you might be able to get him in the 5th.
Yeah.
But Colin Johnson's definitely a guy that the Giants could be looking at as a 5th or maybe even a 6th round prospect. Right. He's definitely a guy I got my eye on in the 5th or 6th round for sure. Tall wide receiver that you go up and catch the 50-50, which is what you'd be bringing him in here to do. But yeah, there's a number of prospects, guys, and I'm going to continue to do as much research as I can. Matter of fact, on Monday, in case you guys didn't see my community notes, I'm going to be doing a interactive mock draft with you guys. So I'm going to have, you're not even going to see my face. I'm going to have the mock draft board up. We're going to do a 7-round mock draft with the Giants. Maybe we'll do a few of them. We'll have some fun. But yeah, we're going to be doing that. And, you guys will get to educate me just as much as I try to educate you on some late round prospects. So it should be a lot of fun. Let's see what we got here. There is a lot of talent in the middle rounds. I like the talent the Rams find in rounds 3. Yeah, you guys have done a good job in recent drafts.
That's where you win. That's where you build your championships. It's rounds 3 through 6. You can't. You should not miss in the first two. But the guys that score in those later rounds, those are the ones that are building a franchise.
Yeah, that's how you win. I mean, we know that as well as anybody, Baddog. When we were winning Super Bowls early on, what was Jerry Reese doing? He was hitting on between the, and it wasn't very often after his first draft, but he was hit in the first draft. He did in the first draft. He got Bradshaw in the seventh. Yeah, he got a couple of guys.
He hit on Bradshaw.
I don't know if he did.
He hit on Bradshaw. Yeah. Kenny Phillips in 08 first round pick. Yeah, didn't hit on that.
Yeah. Maybe I was being too nice. I might have been too nice.
I mean, you got Victor Cruz undrafted. I mean, that was good. I'll give him that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was being too nice there. Kevin Boss, there you go, Lucky. Good call. Kevin Boss was in 07 as well.
Okay. Yeah.
He hit a couple.
Steve Smith. Steve Smith was good. He hit that. Yeah, 07. Well, he did do good in 07 because I remember the whole in Reese we trust thing, and then. Like I said, about 2011, it just started to go downhill, man. It started to plummet.
Diassi, I mean, I know he's a special teams long snapper, but he was a contributor. Got him in the 6th or 7th round of that draft.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. $2 donation. He says, "I've always hated moving Shepard to the outside." Thoughts? Shepard to me is a guy. I'm not comparing him at all. Baddog frequently compares him to him. Victor Cruz. He's not as good as Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz, when he was at his best, was unbelievable. But he is that type of wide receiver that I think could do both. I do not view him as a exclusive outside receiver. I agree with you there, but I do think he's more talented than, when he's healthy and not concussed, to potentially, be able to do a little bit of both.
Right. When he came out of Oklahoma, he was very Victor Cruz-esque, where he could play the slot. He was better in the slot than outside, as was Victor Cruz. And both of them about the same speed, and both of them about the same size. This is why I compared him to Victor Cruz, because at Oklahoma, Sterling Shepard was unreal. And I was so happy when we took Sterling Shepard because I'm like, we got him in the second round. He's a steal. And I'll be quite frank, he's disappointed me. He had a pretty good rookie season, but he's been hurt. He's had concussions. He's dropped a lot of passes. So he's been disappointing since we got him. Giants, but there's still a lot of talent there. Obviously, they wouldn't have given him a 4-year extension had they not thought so. But I do think he's better in the slot. Yeah. So, I mean, but I don't know who else we have going outside. We have a lot of slot receivers. That's what we have.
Yeah, a very underrated aspect of Shepard's game is his blocking ability. He's one of the better blocking wide receivers in the league. But the other thing I'll say, a lot of people point to Tate. They say, why did we bring in Tate? Because we had Shepard. I don't think we knew what we had in Slayton. So I think had the Giants known what they had in Slayton, they wouldn't have brought Tate in. So, but yeah, it was never a great fit in terms of Tate and Shepard on the same team. I'll agree with that. And Charlie, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. He says, would you be opposed to trading down with the Jags for 9 and 20 draft 2 of the top 4 offensive tackles, if possible, draft the center at 36? That O-line is looking stout. Charlie, I love the hog molly. I do. And in that scenario, let's say we end up with Wills and Thomas or Wills and Becton, and you get Ruiz. I'm not going to cry about it on draft night, but personally, I do think you need to try to address the defense in that scenario with at least one of those picks. Our defense is really bad. I know we addressed it a lot in free agency, but I do think you would need to. You could always get a tackle in the following year's draft or in free agency. I think Baddog agrees with me that we do need 2 tackles over the next couple of years, especially, forecasting that we're going to be cutting a shoulder probably next year. So, but I don't think I don't think that they would take 2 tackles with their first 2 picks.
Yeah, maybe. I can't see them going to tackle first 2 picks. Because they need safety, they need linebackers, they need an edge rusher, need a lot of help in that defense. We're really thin at safety. I mean, I did that video about, could the Giants possibly trade for Anthony Harris, and I got a lot of guys going, well, Julian Love could be a safety. I don't care if Julian Love can be a safety. Who are safeties on this team? You got 2?
Yeah. Yeah, we need and Julian Love, let's be fair. I like Julian Love, but let's be fair. The guy played 4 games.
Right. So, I mean, you could go out and get – I mean, I don't know what – like I said, it's just pure speculation. It was just something that I read. And I said, if the Giants have to give up a 3rd-round pick for Anthony Harris, I'm in. I'm not giving up more than that. The Vikings probably want more than that, so that's probably not going to happen. But that's what I'm saying. We need depth at safety anyway. We have no safeties. Right. We need depth. And I know you can even play 3 safety sets at some point. So I don't know where people are like...
And you can move Love to the slot.
Right. I don't know why people are like, we got Julian Love. We don't need Anthony Harris. We don't need Delpit. We got Julian Love. I don't know when Julian Love became some kind of cult hero because he had an interception this year. I get it. I like Julian Love. I do. I like his versatility. I like that he can play the slot corner. I like that he can play safety, and I like him. But like you said, he played 4 games. You know, I mean, let's not call this guy Steve Atwater yet. Let's not call him Brian Dawkins yet. He's not Eric Reed, guys.
Yeah.
Let's give him another.
I like him, but I definitely can't hurt to add more talent at that position for sure.
Yeah, we need more talent. We need depth at safety.
Yeah, I agree. And Roldy, man, thank you so much for the love, man. $10 donation. He says, Chris, we can't just take a tackle just to take because we need one with that position. We need to make sure we take the right guy. Since you want us to take a tackle, who would you want and who would you feel is the right guy? Okay, well, I'm not going to talk about the second round because I don't know who's going to be there in the second round. But if I was taking a tackle at 4, right now, if you ask me, it would probably be Jedrek Wills. I've been leaning that they're going to take Wirfs for quite some time because of their interest in him. But Jedrek Wills, to me, from all the film study I've watched, from what all the professionals say, most people feel he's the most well-rounded tackle. It would either be Andrew Thomas or Jedrek Wills. I'm slightly leaning Jedrek Wills. Thomas obviously is a left tackle, but Wills seems to be more balanced in both run and pass protection. It's very close, though. It's splitting hairs. I like both of them a lot.
Yeah.
Those would be my two, and Wirfs is not far behind. But if I had to pick one right now, I'm taking Jedrek Wills. Not to mention he's got ties to Alabama.
Yep, I'm with you. I think Wills is the best tackle in this draft. Overall, I think he's the best tackle.
Yeah. And let's see what we got here. Did I skip somebody? L.A. Lou with the $2 donation. He says, Becton scares me, guys. That Big Ten to get bigger.
Don't want him.
And one thing about Becton, that's a great point that Lou brings up. That was a problem when he was in college. He had a lot of weight fluctuation. That's one of the things on his scouting report.
Yep.
He went from like 379 to 350, back to 375. So that's a really good point you bring up, L.A. Lou. He had weight fluctuations throughout his entire career well in college, and a lot of people point to that as a knock.
Yep. Yeah. He like you said, the bigger you get bigger. He's already huge. I don't want him. He scares me. Becton scares me.
And what's going on there, Gordon Gecko? Great supporter.
Double G.
$5 donation. He says, "What's up, Legal brothers, baseball brothers? Who is your sleeper on this offense and defense? Mine is Corey Coleman and Leonard Williams. I like Corey Coleman. I think he's going to be. I don't really think unless there's injuries, which we hope there's not. I don't think Coleman's going to have a huge impact in terms of the wide receiving core, but I do think he could have a huge impact on the special teams. We saw that his first time here with the first 8 games, last 8 games rather. So I don't think that's a horrible pick. And as far as Leonard Williams goes, as much as I don't like the contract, I do think Leonard Williams fits this defense very nicely. He is versatile. He could he can play on both the inside and the out on the defensive line. Leonard Williams is actually a really good pick. I'm leaning more with a few other guys on defense, but Leonard Williams is a really good pick. You could go Lorenzo Carter. You could go Julian Love. You could go Peppers. I'm slightly leaning Peppers. I think he's the most versatile player on this defense. And then in terms of the offense, I don't want to pick Hernandez again because he disappointed me last year. So in terms of a sleeper on the offense, I will go – that's a good question. I mean, I don't really view – I don't know. Who would you pick? Maybe Fleming? Maybe Gates?
Nick Gates. Nick Gates is the guy that I was going to say is my sleeper on offense. I think Nick Gates played really well at the end of the year. Or maybe Caden Smith. Maybe Caden Smith is your sleeper because he had great rapport with Daniel Jones at the end of the year, which I think Evan Ingram's very expendable. I really think the Giants are trading Evan Ingram this year. I really do. I think they're not going to sign him. He can't block. He's hurt. Whatever they get for him, they get for him. I could see him getting traded because we have Caden Smith. On defense, I'm going to go DeAndre Baker. I think DeAndre Baker is way too talented to play the way he did last year. And I think that this coaching staff is going to get DeAndre Baker play to his strengths. You're going to see him play a lot more press than that stupid zone that Betcher had him playing. And I think Baker's really going to come. I think Baker's going to be the guy that you saw at Georgia. I think he's going to have a good year.
I completely agree with you there. I did a video on which rookies I think are going to take the biggest step this year in year 2, and he's my answer to that. I do agree with you there. I think Baker's a really good corner, and I think this coaching staff will put him in a better position to succeed. Not to mention he takes some pressure off by adding Bradbury.
Right.
So I do like Baker as an answer as well.
Yes, much better than I was going to say much better than Shit Fondue, the other corner there.
Yeah, that's for sure. Kid Blue, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Once again, go over there and check him out. He says, Seattle loves to trade down. Let's trade back up to 27 and grab an offensive tackle. Josh Jones, if we get Isaiah Simmons, he's my favorite tackle outside of the top 4. I agree with you. I just don't know if Josh Jones is going to get there, Kid Blue. I honestly don't think Josh Jones gets past the Dolphins at 18. Maybe, but even then, I think they would take him at 26 unless they took another tackle at 18. I could be wrong, but if Josh Jones is there, 27 or 28, definitely worth trading up for. If we take Isaiah Simmons at 4, it wouldn't be that big of a price tag. It would probably be similar to last year when we moved up for Baker from 37 to 30. You're talking 36-27. We give him a fourth and a fifth. I would definitely be willing to do that if they felt like Josh Jones could be a franchise tackle. I obviously would be willing to do that.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for that, man. I really appreciate it, and I just want to make sure I don't miss it. Oh, thank you so much, man. And we got a $2 donation. At cornerback, Love has Notre Dame record for PB. Listen, I like Love. For passes broken up, he's got the record. I like Love. And another guy that I'm actually interested in, we were talking about late round sleepers, is another guy in the secondary for Notre Dame, Pride. And Pride would be a slot corner. He has familiarity playing with Love. And that's another guy I think you want to keep your eye on. Troy Pride out of Notre Dame in the third or fourth round. We could bring him in as a slot corner as well. So there's another guy to keep an eye out on. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Julian Love. So is Baddog. We just don't want to crown him the second.
Right,
coming.
exactly. I'm not saying what I'm saying is our safety position isn't set because we have Julian Love and Jabril Peppers there. That was my point. It never hurt to have depth. I mean, how much depth do we have on the defensive tackle position? You know, we got 4 tight ends in this team. You know, we got like 4 right tackles in this team. Okay, so it doesn't hurt to have extra safeties. We need them.
Yeah, that's for sure. The more talent we have, the better. And Mike Moreno with a $2 donation, he says, thoughts on the Giants favored to win 1 game? To be honest with you, Baddog, I like that. I like that. I want to go into the season with low expectations. I don't want people to feel like the Giants are going to do well because I feel like that's when the Giants are at their best. I want people to be sleeping on us. And to be honest, I can't blame the odds makers for not favoring the Giants to win a lot of games. We've won 9 games in the last 2 years. How could you expect them to be thinking we're going to win more than 5 or 6 games this year? So I can't cry about it, and they're playing a tough schedule.
Yeah, I'm not worried about odds makers. I know the one game that they probably have us picked to win, and that's against the Redskins. And we should have be picked to win 2 because we're going to beat the Redskins twice. You know that. And we do that like it's our job, and it is our job. They actually do that one well. But what else? They should beat the Bengals. I mean, come on, man. I mean, I don't care if Joe Burrow is there or not. The Bengals are awful. I mean, NFC West is probably going to sweep us. I'm not going to lie there. That's
maybe we beat maybe we could beat the Cardinals at home, but it's not going to be easy.
Well, we didn't beat them last year at home.
We didn't.
And now they got DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. That's for sure.
Man, then we got Tampa Tom Brady coming in. So it's not like that's going to be easy.
Maybe we beat the Browns at home. Maybe. But that's not going to be easy.
It's not going to be easy. The Ravens, tough. You got the AFC North and the NFC West. And then we got 6 games in our division. I start reading
that the Giants are going to fire Gettleman if they don't win at least 7 games. It's like, how could you expect this team to win 7 games with their schedule? It's not for that to be the mark that they have to hit. Like, we play a really tough schedule when you look at it, Baddog.
You can't fire Gettleman after 3. You can't. You can't do that. How do you give Reese 10 years and you're only giving Gettleman 3? When Reese left this team in a disastrous state and it was bad 4 years and they kept him on. And when they got rid of Coughlin, Reese should have went with his ass. But he didn't. They waited to bring in another coach and then they fired him with the coach. But you can't fire Shermer, leave Gettleman, then fire Gettleman and leave Judge. That would make no sense.
It's just too much turnover. I agree with you. And then people say, well, Reese got off to a good start. He won a Super Bowl. Yes, but Reese inherited a team.
That was a Corsi's team.
They went to the playoffs the 2 years before that. He inherited a team that was ready to win. Reese's job that first year was just don't screw it up.
Yeah.
So it's apples and oranges when you compare the two. I'm not a guy that loves Gettleman. I try to back the guy, though, because I think he gets a lot of hate that he doesn't deserve. And he deserves some of it. But, I just don't want to put a win total on it. If Daniel Jones regresses, if the offensive line isn't improved, then you got an argument. But it's such a tough schedule to go into the year expecting you got to win 7 games or he's fired. I just don't think that's fair.
Look at 07. Jerry Reese took over Eli Manning in his prime. All right, he took over a defensive line that had Strahan, Tuck, and Umanura. All right, they had Plexico Burris out there. They had Brandon Jacobs. So they had Amani Toomer. They had a really, really good team already. So he took over a team that won 11 games in 2005, and they were 8-8 in 2006 when they made the playoffs that year. Lost to the Eagles. Of course, they lost to the Eagles. Why wouldn't they? But yeah, I mean, that team was ready to win. The pieces were in place, and he came in and took over a winning organization. Dave Gettleman took over a team with bad contracts and bad drafts for the last 6 years. That's where Dave Gettleman had to deal with. So can't really fault him.
You got to put it into context.
Yep.
Justin Roman, man, thanks so much for the $2 donation. He says, what if we won the division? And hello to you, Justin. Thank you for the love, man. I really appreciate it. And what if we won the division? I mean, I don't know what you want me to say that. Baddog and me would be going crazy. We'd be ecstatic. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
It'd be great. Do I expect it? Absolutely not. But it would be phenomenal if it did in fact happen. And Independent Outsider, thank you so much, man, for the love, man. $2 donation. Do you trust Gettleman this draft? Thanks as always. No, thank you for the love, man. I appreciate it. And yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't trust Gettleman this draft if you're being fair. Even if you hate Gettleman, Baddog, look at the last two drafts the guy had.
He's drafted well. Everyone loves Julian Love, 4th round pick. Darius Slayton, was he a 5th or a 6th round pick?
He was really a 6th. It was a comp pick
right.
in the 5th.
There you go.
Conley in the 5th round.
Right. Conley was great before he tore his ACL. Daniel Jones played well. Dexter Lawrence played well. Saquon Barkley is God. Lorenzo Carter played well his rookie season.
BJ Hill played well.
Yeah. So I mean, he's done a nice job in the draft.
Yeah. And Elliot, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, I look forward to the undrafted free agent signings after the draft. So do I, man. A lot of times you find diamonds in the rough. There's been a number of great New York Giants that were undrafted free agents. Victor Cruz at the top of the list, but there's a number of them. I remember I did a video on it. There's a lot of them. But Victor Cruz obviously at the top of the list. And there's a couple of interesting undrafted free agents from last year that maybe make a splash this year. If you remember, Baddog, Victor Cruz, his first year, didn't make the team. He had that great preseason game. I think it was against the Jets, right?
3 touchdowns, yep.
3 touchdowns, didn't make the team. Last year, we brought in guys that people were excited about. Reggie White Jr., the wide receiver out of Monmouth. We brought in Sills, the former quarterback, tall wide receiver. Maybe one of those guys make an impact. So you never know where you're going to get it from. You just don't.
You don't.
And Matt, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, would Arizona give up number 8 for our 2nd, 3rd, and Ingram? No chance.
No. Number 8, you're getting an elite talent, so I don't think that. Yeah,
you'd be giving up 30. You'd be giving him 36.99 and a tight end that's approaching the
free
end
agency.
of his rookie contract. That's in a walking boot. Yeah, I mean, I would love it, but no. And we got time. Thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. I really appreciate it. It says, you guys watch the Madden Sims tournament of teams' greatest players playing against each other. Round 1, we beat the Eagles. I've heard a lot of people talking about that. I have not watched it. Maybe I will. I enjoy Madden. Maybe I'll check it out.
What is the greatest Eagles season? It's got to be 2017, right?
I mean, that's the only year they won a Super Bowl.
I mean, the 86 Giants would have beat the living shit out of the 2017 Eagles. That wouldn't even be close. Not even close. That's not close. Yeah. I mean, that's the truth. That team would have destroyed the Eagles.
Yeah, that Eagles team, to me, I know they had a great record. They were 13-3, and I'm not taking anything away from them. I readily admit the 2 Super Bowl teams that we had weren't the best of teams either. They were teams that got hot at the right time, and they overcame adversity, especially the second one. The first one, I think, was more talented. But that Eagles team, to me, did not match their record. They were not a 13-3 team. That was a team that got all the breaks that year. Everything clicked right. They were a very good team, but I don't think they were a great team. I think that they were just a team of destiny, and they played well when they had to.
Yeah, no, that 86...
You remember that year? The Giants should have beat them in the regular season.
Yeah.
They blew that game later in the year. That was a very good team, but I didn't view them as a team on the same level as like the 86 Giants.
Yeah, no. That 86 Giants team was special. 2008 Giants would have killed that Eagles team too. That was the best Giants team I saw. Stupid Burris. Still, I go to my grave with that, man. We had a dynasty in the making.
It's kind of like my Mets, man, in the 80s. They had a dynasty.
They did. I've actually been watching I've been watching a lot of Mets stuff. I've been watching the 86. I go to sleep. Like I'll after I get done streaming or whatever I'm doing. A lot of times I'll just sit on my couch. Have a nice cup of coffee, CAWFEE, and I've been watching like the 86 NLCS and the 88 NLCS between the Dodgers Astros the Mets Astros 86 ALCS was. What an amazing series.
Oh, great. I've watched it back, too. It's a great series. Yeah, great series. And we got time. Thank you so much for the $2 donation. It's the team's greatest players playing. Okay, so it's the team's greatest player. I didn't know. Okay,
gotcha.
So I'm assuming it's Lawrence Taylor. If he's willing to do it, he would be the Giants' greatest player.
Who's the Eagles' greatest quarterback? He probably got hurt because LT killed him. LT, man.
Do you guys think the Bucs receive the hype that the Browns got last year? I already saw one predicting them as the number 1 NFC seed. That's definitely the flavor of the month, Johnny.
The Bucs?
Yeah, because of Tom Brady.
Come on, man.
I'm not picking them to do anything special.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying
No, but I think teams are going to jump on them. Fans rather, and experts are going to
like
jump
they
on
did with
them,
Cleveland.
much like they did with Cleveland last year. Yeah, they're the hot offseason team because they got Tom Brady. They finished strong. They went 7-9, but I think they had a good second half. They've got weapons. They've got a good head coach with Arians. So I see the attraction there. But at the end of the day, Baddog, the New Orleans Saints still have the best offensive line in football. They still got Drew Brees. They still got a complete football team.
Michael Thomas?
Give me the Saints.
Can Tom Brady, can he cover Michael Thomas? Can he cover Alvin Kamara out of the backfield? The Saints are still the class of that division. I don't think this. And the Saints got a good defense.
Yeah. Unless Tom Brady's going into a time machine going back 10 years, chance, in my opinion, unless there's injuries, of course, then they knock up the Saints.
Yeah, there's some guys that, when they get in their 40s, they're in phenomenal shape. It just happens. Some guys are specimens. Remember, Brady's one of those guys, he works very hard. He's in great shape. But 42 is 42. And, it is what it is.
It's Father Time, man. We saw it with Eli. Crispy Cracker, thank you so much, man, for the dollar donation. I really appreciate that. Great subscriber. I love the nickname. Crispy Cracker. That's my first name and my initials B. So I do appreciate the name. What's going on, Angel? Thank you for popping in the stream.
D Grant, it's diet iced tea. It's not wine or. I just don't have a glass down here today, so I'm drinking it right out of the. I'm the only one that drinks it anyway. So it's it's wine. I wish it's moonshine.
Let's see what we got here. Got any questions here? I don't have the Bucks in the playoffs. I think the Bucks could make the playoffs because there's 7 teams now. They're probably in that discussion, but I don't think they're winning the division.
Yeah, no. I think they could win a wild card. They're not going to. Yeah, they're not going to. They're not going to win the division. No.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are banking on the Saints falling off this year. I don't see it. I think they've been carrying Breeze the last 3 years. I don't think it's Breeze has been carrying them. I think they have a great roster, and I don't see them falling off. I think the Saints are still the class of that division.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. I see Joe Montana 2.0 in Brady. When Montana went to the Chiefs, led him to the AFC title game. I honestly don't. I remember watching it as a kid. I was obviously not as educated back then. I don't remember how good that surrounding roster was. I think they had Derek Thomas on that team. I honestly don't remember, but maybe.
They had Marcus Allen on that team.
Yeah, Marcus. Yeah. And David Biago, man, thanks for the $5 donation. He says, I hear Eli Apple is back on the market. Do you think the Eagles are getting him now after they get Clowney and Ngakoue?
Yeah, definitely. No, I mean, listen, David, he's not good enough. I mean, there's got to be a better corner. They're probably going to somehow snatch Byron Jones away from the Dolphins, somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think the Dolphins will probably trade Byron Jones to the Eagles for like a 4th-round pick or something.
The Eagles actually just invented a time machine. I heard they're going to put Revis in the time machine and put him in at cornerback.
That's possible. And I wonder if they could bring back Eric Allen and Deion Sanders. At least Eric Allen was an Eagle. My favorite Eagle of all time.
Yeah.
I can't bring myself to doing it, Chris, but I swear to God, I can't do it. I loved that Eric Allen Eagles jersey. That Eagles, I'll give the Eagles this. In the 80s, I loved that green color that they had, not this dark, disgusting green, that stupid shit wing that they have on their helmet now, but the actual bird with the wings spread and the sleeve. They had nice jerseys in the 80s. I got sick of looking at them because they were always on top of Phil Simms, but still, I really loved that Eric Allen jersey. Will not buy it. I'm trying to find an Eric Allen Saints jersey.
Don't you dare buy it. Don't you dare
No,
buy it.
I won't buy an Eagles jersey. I'm trying to find an Eric Allen Saints jersey, even though he didn't play well for the Saints. He played better for the Raiders, but I loved Eric Allen, man. Eric Allen was one of my favorite players of all time. Loved Eric Allen. I loved that guy. No, not Larry Allen. Eric Allen, cornerback.
Sack leader for the New York Giants in 2020. I'm gonna go with Shane Zimenez, but I think there's a couple of candidates you could go with. Fackrell. I'm gonna go with Zimenez before the draft. They could draft somebody, but right now I'll go with Zimenez.
That's tough. Yeah, let's go Chase Young for that.
Yeah, if they get Chase Young, I'll take Chase Young.
I'm just wishing. That's a great question. Wow.
You could go Carter too. Carter could have the.
I did that last year. I thought Carter would have the big year, but I mean, he and Zimenez pretty much play the same spot there. Wow. You know what? I mean, it could be one of those linebackers. Maybe Dexter Lawrence gets some sacks this year.
How about Leonard Williams gets a couple of sacks, earns his paycheck?
It'd be nice. Listen, Leonard Williams don't need to get sacks when he's stuffed to run, man. That's what you're there for.
Yeah.
Maybe Dexter Lawrence gets some sacks this year. D-Law. Baby snacks, as our boy calls them. As our boy Malik calls them. Baby snacks.
MH says, yes, I am. Sal Licata is going to be on the channel. MH, it's going to be an interview. It's not going to be live on Tuesday. He's going to be on the channel. Sal the Baldy, as you call it.
Scotty H, where's Pat McGroin? I don't know. He's probably patting his groin somewhere after the Guardians got their ass kicked in that game. And I was doing the 24-hour live stream. I started calling him Pat McGroin instead of McGloin because, he sucked. My God, McGloin was terrible in that game. Pat McGroin. And the funny thing is, we were doing the 24-hour stream, and I was streaming the XFL game, and McGloin had the nerve to blame the play calling for his horrible first half. I'm like, are you serious? You suck! I'm like, how about you take some blame? You do some of the worst passes I've ever seen in my life.
Thoughts on Leonard Williams? Yeah, we talked about Leonard Williams. I think we both like Leonard Williams. We just don't like the contract. I think he definitely fits the defense we're trying to implement here. He's versatile. Could play on the inside and out. I like Leonard Williams. I just don't like $17 million a year, Leonard Williams.
I don't either. If we could get him for $12 million a year and just sign him for that, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, and I don't like that we traded for him.
Yeah.
We don't need to relive that, but that was a horrible decision by Dave Gettman.
That was the head scratcher when you could have just went out and got him instead of trading for him. Yep, I agree. Gave up a third-round pick. Gave up what would it be, number
70 or so?
Yeah.
But in terms of a player, yeah, I like him. What do we got here? I like Williams just tackle guy. Let's see what we got. I think he's worth 12. Cushman, he's worth $12 million. If you don't think Leonard Williams is worth $12 million, you're kidding yourself, especially with the market going up next year. $12 million for Leonard Williams is a no-brainer.
Yeah, it is. I'm just laughing at Jersey Joe. He said, Dog looks like he's sitting at the kiddie table during a family gathering, sipping from the jug when the parents are looking.
The early third could have signed him for 11 or 12 a year now. Yeah. Oh, there he is. He's sipping from the jug. He's sipping wine. Trade with Miami and pick Simmons at 5. The only way it's going to make sense to take that makes sense. Miami has to feel that they have to trade up to take a quarterback. And at this point, we'll see. There's not a lot of teams that need a quarterback behind him. The threat there is the Chargers. But yeah, if we could trade down to 5, great. We still get the same player and we get another asset. Absolutely.
What about the Raiders? Like that's a team that I feel like they could go quarterback. Is it possible that they move up? The Jags.
The Jags and the Raiders are the two teams outside of the obvious 5 and 6 that maybe could move up, and the Panthers, I suppose, at 7. But those, yeah. I mean, I would love to trade down with the Raiders. Get yourself like a future 3rd or 4th with the 12 and 19. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. You still probably get your tackle there, and then you get it. It's the same thing with the Jaguars. Only, I guess, you're not getting your pick of the tackle because more than likely you get the 2nd or 3rd tackle drafted instead of the 1st or 2nd.
Let's see if they move up. Well, the Panthers are probably going tackle. Who picks 8th?
Cardinals.
Oh, they're definitely going tackle.
Yeah, they're definitely going tackle, and the Browns could very well go tackle.
That's right, Browns. So you got 7, 8, and 10. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I don't know if the Panthers go tackle. Panthers could go linebacker if Simmons is there. They could go Brown, the D tackle. But definitely the Cardinals and the Browns and the Jets could take a tackle at 11. So yeah, that's the risk you run if you drop to 12.
King Johnny, how can I be the man when you the man?
I think we all love Wills. Jedrek Wills is a guy I think we all like.
Yep, he's definitely.
Josh Jones or Andrew Thomas? Oh, Andrew Thomas.
Yeah, Andrew Thomas in an elite, one of the top prospects. Josh Jones is, probably
Josh
5th.
Jones.
Probably 5th.
Josh Jones, from everything I read, is a guy that has everything in terms of physical traits that you want in an offensive lineman. He's got long arms. He's got everything you want, but he's not nearly as technically sound as a guy like Andrew Thomas. Right. So he's more of a project.
I'd probably rather have Jones than Becton, to be honest with you. I don't like Becton at all. I don't like him. He scares me, man. Becton scares me.
Yeah, I'm not huge on Becton either. I'd be okay with him at 12 or 13 if the other 3 were gone, but I'm with you. He's definitely my 4th of the 4.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Is Dayon Buchanan still on the team? He is not. Dayon Buchanan is not on the team. He's not under contract. He could be back, but Baddog, we said it last year when they brought him in. Dayon Buchanan was a guy that fit the scheme. It's the same thing with Marcus Golden. Marcus Golden fit the scheme. That's why they brought him in. they don't necessarily fit this scheme. So it makes sense to let those guys go.
No, that's true. And we're going to get a guy like we're going to get a rich man's Dion Buchanan anyway when we draft Isaiah Simmons. We all know this.
Yeah, and it's not like Buchanan did anything for us anyway.
No, he didn't. Golden was great. Buchanan was invisible.
Yeah. And Blue Jackets, man, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. I really appreciate it. He says, Matt Miller. Oh, my God. Thank you guys so much, man. Blue Jackets with the $5 donation. He says, Matt Miller said the Panthers are more likely to take a wide receiver than an offensive tackle. Also said there's a great chance Wirfs becomes the pick for you guys. I did not see that. I'll definitely take a look into that. But I've been saying that now for a month because that's all I heard from Kim Jones, from, a number of insiders leading up into the combine. And he had a great combine. So I definitely believe Wirfs is strongly possible.
Yep.
And in terms of a wide receiver, yeah, I could see that. I mean, I could definitely see the Panthers taking a wide receiver. Do I think it's the right pick for them? Not necessarily, but they definitely could to try to help out their quarterback there.
Yeah,
they definitely could take Judy or Lamb.
Definitely.
It's possible.
Yep.
Not something I've really thought about, but it is possible now that you bring it up. And Mr. Lewis, man, thank you so much, man, for the love, man. $75 donation. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. He says, what's up, Dane? I'm not a New York fan, but I'm a Baddog fan. Thanks for having your boy on the stream this time. Here's a little something for your channel. What's up, Dizzle? My nizzle, man. Thank you so much, man, for the love and the sport, man. And I work with Baddog all the time, so and next time I'll be on his channel, man. Thank you for all the love and the support. And yeah, guys, please subscribe to Baddog. We'll be on his channel next week. We'll be coming back here the week after, and we'll be doing all the draft talk. We'll be doing the show at least a month. We'll probably be doing the show for a while. We said we were going to cut it off a couple weeks after the draft, but at the end of the day,
we're going all the way through now. There's
not going to be any sports going on. So
until the Lakers come back. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it might become more of a broad sports show about a month after the draft, but I'm sure we're going to be working together once a week, every week. So definitely come on back, and I appreciate the love, Mr. Lewis. Thank you so much.
Say, Mr. A. Lewis Sr. found my Yankee hat. It was under my kid's trampoline, of course. So I found that. I couldn't find my damn black Yankee hat. I found that today, and I am going to the P.O. box to get the Kobe shirts that you sent me. So thank you for sending those to me, my man. And yes, thank you for everything you do for my channel. You've been an amazing supporter. So I appreciate you showing my boys some love. And, we'll see you next time. So the Lakers are coming back. Laker Dog will be back, guys. Have no fear. Laker Dog is here. I'm coming back.
And New York for life, man. Thanks for the love, man. $5, another phenomenal subscriber of mine. He says, Baddog, watch the Eagles win a Super Bowl or dinner with Strahan. Oh, you do not like Strahan. You got to take that dinner with Strahan.
I'm taking dinner with Strahan. I'd take dinner with an Eagles player over them winning a Super Bowl. Whatever. I'd buy them dinner. I don't ever want to see that again as long as I live.
Yeah.
You see the color of the Super Chat? That's the color my face was when they won the damn Super Bowl. Sick. Still sick.
I was not happy on that. I was not on YouTube when that happened, but that was one of the tougher nights. And then I remember watching Cop Izzo's reaction video because I was laughing about that when he was complaining about the commercial because I had the same thought. I'm watching the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and then I got to see Eli Manning doing the dance with Odell Beckham at halftime. I'm like, what are you doing? So that was not a happy night of mine. That's for sure. And we got time. Thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. He says, I'd like to discuss a topic with you one day, entertainer. Love your subtly. Baddog is like two argue players, and who's better? Love to argue with Baddog. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much, man. I mean, I think Baddog and me. I think what people like about us when we're together. I think we're opposite, but I think we really like each other. And one's more reactionary, one's more even keeled, and we both respect each other's opinion, and we both love the Giants. So,
that's why it works, though. You can't have two guys with similar personalities. That's what I say. Mike and the Mad Dog we always kind of played our I forgot who was a dire Giants fan. Who's the one that gave us the name of the this show?
No, it was the Notre Dame fan. What's his name? He's got the Notre Dame logo. He's a great supporter.
Oh God, I know who you're talking about. Oh my God.
Yeah, he was the guy that gave
Todd
us the name.
Dumont? No.
Well, yes.
It is Todd Dumont. Okay.
Yeah. He was the name of it. Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah.
I'm more of the Mad Dog personality. Chris ain't really arrogant like Francesa, but I guess he would have to be the Francesa because Lord knows I'm like Mad Dog. No doubt about that.
Yeah, I appreciate the love, man. Thank you very much. And Gordon Gecko, Chris, if there's no baseball in 2020, your boy Cespedes only has a 50-50 chance of getting hurt this year. Bad Dog, who won the last World Series game played at Shea? There's a question for you, Bad Dog. And Cespedes probably he will not get hurt this year. He will not. Well, he still could. He could be playing golf, which is where he got hurt in the first place. I know the answer.
Cincinnati Reds.
No, the last World Series game played at Shea.
Yeah, one last World Series. Oh, Mets? No, that was 86. Right? That was the last time they played a World Series.
No, the Yankees, right?
No, because when did the Yankees play at Shea? Yankees played at Shea in
2000.
Oh, that's right. They did play it. Was it Shea Stadium back then?
Yeah. Mets went to Shea in 2000. I mean, the Citi Field in 2008 or 9.
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah,
that's a long time ago.
Yankees
Yeah, of course. Well, listen, when you win so many, they all blend the hell in anyway. We haven't won shit. We won one since then. Been 20 years, won one World Series. No offense, Mets fans. I understand you haven't, but
it's been my life, and I haven't won a World Series. 85, I don't count it. I was in diapers,
right.
so
yeah,
hopefully one day I get to see one.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got it. Shade ain't so big. Yeah. Entertainer, can you pick the Giants' bum squad in the last 20 years? What do you mean bum squad? Like the worst players at every position? Is that what you're asking? I mean, there's a lot of bad players. I mean, that would be. I could do a video on that one day. I'd have to do some research, but I mean, with the names we go over all the time, if you're incorporating where they were drafted, Eli Apple's got to be on there. Eric Flowers has got to be on there. There's a number. Yeah. David Wilson, due to injury, is probably up there.
Sonoris Moss, you can throw him in there.
Sonoris Moss, Dave Brown. I mean, there's a lot of guys that could be on the quote unquote Ron Dane that could be on the bum squad.
Sucked. Oh my God. Gerard Bunch, Derek Brown, the tight end at Notre Dame, he was trash. Tyrone Wheatley, you can throw him in there.
Yeah. Tyrone Wheatley, he did pretty well with the Raiders for a year or two after we got rid of him. Yeah. But yeah, he was a bum. Cedric Ellis, right? That was his name, Cedric Ellis.
Yeah, I think, terrible. Marvin Austin, he was a second-round pick. I don't even know what the hell ever happened to him. Nobody.
There's a lot of busts you could go over. There's too many.
Just go back to the 70s. Everybody was a bust. Or you trade your first-round pick for freaking Craig Morton, and then that pick turns into Randy White for Dallas. Yeah, you can do that, too.
Oh, Cedric Jones, yeah. Yeah, I think he was the 5th pick overall in '96. I think by the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. There was a lot of big busts by the Giants.
There was.
You go down the list. There's way too many to
yeah, I mean, you could probably put Evan Ingram in there right now. He isn't proving a damn thing.
Evan Ingram, based on who we could have drafted instead of Evan Ingram, you could put him on there. J.J. Watt went, not J.J. Watt, rather, his brother, T.J. Watt went like 5 picks later. You had the Pro Bowl guard, I think he's a guard, right? That went to the Saints like 4 picks later. So, yeah, that was a bad pick by the Giants. And thank you so much. And we got time for the $2 donation. One player you love and defend that wasn't good. Oh, wow. One player, I mean, I don't defend many players that I don't feel are at least good. I defended Eli Manning, but he was good. I'm trying to think of somebody that wasn't good that I defended. Let's see. Can you think of anybody bad? I can't. I don't defend players that aren't good. No, I try not to.
I'm trying to think of.
I defended a coach for a while that wasn't good, Pat Shurmur.
I didn't defend his ass ever. Maybe Aaron Ross. I always thought he was pretty good, but, you know, he really wasn't. I don't know if I defended him or not.
Oh, Luke Pettigrew. No, I hated Luke Pettigrew.
Oh, Luke, you know, me and my buddy always used to mess around and just go, holding, 74 offense, false start, 74 offense, tripping, 74 off, or whatever the hell number he was. Maybe he was 76, but it was over 77. I think he was 77.
He was 77.
False start, 77. Or it was Robin Oben. That was another one. Holding, 72 offense. Scott Gregg was another one. Oh, my God. The Giants have had some crappy old linemen, let me tell you.
Yeah, Luke Pettigrew, every Sunday you knew you were getting 3 penalties. He was horrible. and we got time with the $2 donation. Hakeem Nicks for me only because he had injury. Well, Hakeem Nicks was great.
He was.
Before the injury. Hakeem Nicks was on pace to be one of the greatest Giant receivers of all time. I remember he had the 5X gloves. He was great.
Yeah, I shook that guy's hand, and I got big-ass hands. That dude's hand was down here on my wrist. It was ridiculous, the size of his hands.
Yeah, he was a beast. And Jacob Kaiser, man, thanks so much for the love, man. $2 donation. He says, we draft Simmons. Is he going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year? He could. I would still lean Chase Young, but he definitely could. My pick going into the year is going to be Chase Young to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. First off, I think he's the best player in this year's draft. But secondly, I think it's the easiest position to transition to into the pros. You see So many edge rushers their first year have great years. Go back and look at last year. Josh Allen had double-digit sacks, Bosa. Every year, these edge rushers do very well. So I think Chase Young has got to be the prohibitive favorite to win defensive.
I tell you, see, going forward next year, when guys talk about Jadeveon Clowney, I don't see that, but I do see them making a run at Joey Bosa if he's out there. That's something I see them making a run at.
For sure, if he's out there, for sure, absolutely. Ruben Randall, oh my God,
he was
Ruben
awful.
Randall.
Scott Bruner. Now you're going back a little before my time, K-Dog.
Rubber Nose says, y'all talk a lot. Should we not? Baddog, you want to just be muted for the rest of the stream?
Rubber Nose, he knows me. Listen, we're New Yorkers, man. We do this. I know you're down south, Rubber Nose, but we New Yorkers, we like to talk. It's just what we do. It's a talk show.
Yeah, it's a talk show. We talk. Isaiah Simmons comparison, I think Cam Chancellor is one that I've heard a lot. I think that's a fair comparison. I don't think there's a player that you could really compare him to, but I think Chancellor's a fair comparison. He was a tall, big safety. Obviously he played safety, didn't play linebacker, but I think that's a fairly decent comparison. But there's not a lot of players you can compare to Isaiah Simmons. He's a different type of player. He's a unicorn. He really is. He's a guy that can do a plethora of things. But yeah, I think Chancellor's the closest one that I've heard that makes the most sense.
Yeah, Big Drake. I did mention the great Marvin Austin as far as picks go. I did mention him, indeed. Oh, man.
Ron Dane and Ron, yeah. More so Ron Dane. Ron Dane was a top 15 pick or whatever it was. So.
Yeah.
Damn,
you got Lucky Luciano in your chat, Chris? I did see. Yeah, Lucky Luciano's here.
Oh, nice. Lucky Luciano's the man. Yeah, absolutely, man. Jacob Kaiser with the $5 donation. He says, would you want T.J. Watt, Ryan Ramczyk, or Trey White instead of him? I'd have to go T.J. Watt, Jacob. T.J. Watt might win Defensive Player of the Year this year. That's how good he is. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the NFL because not only does he get after the quarterback, he is phenomenal in pass coverage. He's one of the best outside linebacker in pass coverage in the league. He's one of the most underrated players in the sport. T.J. Watt, I would have loved to be in New York, John.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. You think Gordon Gagg? I don't think the Lions are taking Simmons. Everything I've read, they're in on Akuda, and just the fact that they moved Slay tells me that that's the direction they're going. I don't know. We'll see.
Isaiah Simmons I've read those comparisons as well. He's bigger though. Jamal Adams isn't as big as Simmons.
Yeah, he's not as fast as Simmons either.
Yeah. Simmons is bigger and faster. So, but yeah, it's not a horrible comparison.
I've heard the compare. I don't know why they compared him to, but I've heard Brian Urlacher. That's a guy. Troy Polamalu is another one I've heard him compared to.
That one I like. I've never said that, but I've thought that. I do like the Polamalu comparison because Polamalu was kind of like that type of player. Yeah, before it kind of became more modern day. He was one of my favorite players to watch, not just because he had the nice moss. But he was all over the football field. They used him in all these different types of ways. Palma was a really good comparison as well. Yep. Urlacher was bigger and what? Yeah, he was.
Yep. Palomalo was a beast, though. Yeah, Clint Sintum out of Virginia. Yeah, another bust. Jesus. We had a lot of them. Jerry Reese did a fine job over here.
Thoughts on Taysom Hill this season? I think he's going to be exactly what he's been. I don't think he's going to get a chance to start there, obviously, with Drew Brees. And I know that some people are saying that he might be the starter for the Saints going forward. I don't see that. I still don't view him as an every-down quarterback. I think he is what he is, much like what we said earlier in the show. I think that's the type of player he is, a guy that you bring in to do – I think he's what Tebow could have been. He's what Tebow did not embrace. But I don't view him as a quarterback. He's like 31 years old at this point, Ben.
Yeah. Do I think the Giants are going to get Trey Adams? I have no clue. Honestly, do not know. I don't know. I mean, you're going deeper into the draft there at that point. Everything's a crapshoot, pretty much.
I think he's the type. I'll say this. Depending on what they do earlier in the draft, he is the type of offensive lineman that I think Gettleman would like. He's huge. He's big. So he could be on the radar. But, yeah, there's no way of projecting if we're going to get him or not.
Yeah,
I mean, you're talking about 300 prospects. So
Yeah, it's tough. Tough back then.
Can Tom Brady hurt his legacy with a bad season? The only way, first off, he's still going to go down as the greatest by most people's standards no matter what. He's got 6 Super Bowl rings. The only way, I think he could have hurt his legacy had he left sooner. Had he left when he was 36, 37, and then the Patriots still won Super Bowls. But the fact now that he's 42, 43, Unless the Patriots win a Super Bowl this year and he plays horrible, but even then, he still won 6 championships. I don't think he's going to hurt his legacy. Had he left 5 years earlier, maybe, but I think it's too late for him to really hurt his legacy, and I think he knows that.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever hurting his legacy, no matter what. I don't think so.
Is there any players that have been tagged you would like the Giants to trade for? I think it's too late. I don't think they're trading for anybody at this point in time. Well, you never know. I mean, the Clowney trade was late last year.
Anthony Harris, that's the guy for me.
Yeah,
I like Anthony Harris. I don't think
Anthony Harris is one of the most underrated safeties in the sport.
Yep.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. Obviously, everybody brings up Unique Ngakoue.
But Unique's going to cost.
Another one
he's going to cost a ton of money.
Yeah, I don't want to trade for him, especially with what the reported asking price is. But those are the names. I honestly don't think they're going to do it. I don't see them. They need the draft capital. They're a young team trying to build through the draft, so I don't see them doing it.
Sam Borowski says Baddog not only didn't defend Shermer ever, he threatened to throat punch him. Yes, I did. I also said in one of the videos I'd like to spit right in his face. I hated Pat Shermer, man. God, I hated him more than McAdoo. I hated Pat Shermer.
Yeah, he was not a Shermer fan. Kreider was the long snapper. Yeah, the Giants signed the long snapper, so he'll be replacing Zach Diassi. He made the Pro Bowl in 2018 with the Broncos.
Yeah, it'll be nice. Maybe that'll help Rosas because Diassi struggled last year.
Yeah, Diassi was horrible. He got a lot of the blame later on in the season for sure. Brady's not going to hurt his legacy. He's going to hurt his hip. Yeah,
that could be. That could be.
That could be for sure. Especially if he plays till he's like 50. What's going on, Trevor? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Let's see. Baddog, I think JD is kicking in you, sounding more like Malone, famous folks. I don't know what he's saying there.
Oh, you think JD the Jack did? No, Malone. Fo. No, that's the 83 Sixers. 4 for 4. 4 for 4. Moses Malone, yeah.
Let's see what we got here. I saw a question.
George Adams. There's a good one, Larry Fisher. George Adams. I think we picked him up in 85, if I'm not mistaken, and he seemed like he had a world of talent, and he sucked. But that's a good one. George Adams, a running back, which is surprising that they went that way because Joe Morris, ended up with 21 touchdowns in 85. And they picked up Joe Morris in 84. I was surprised that they went that way, but I guess because they let Rob Carpenter was still on that team in 85. But yeah, George Adams is a good one. George Adams sucked. He did.
Nikki has fair contract for Barkley. Well, you're not going to do it this year, I don't think. I mean, especially coming off the injury, you want to make sure he's healthy. Next year, with the market going up, Zeke got $15 million a year last year. This is now 2 years with a 15% increased market. He's getting minimum $18 million a year.
Yeah,
that's just facts. That's the truth. And I think you're looking at 5 years, $90 million minimum that Barkley's going to command. And I think we're going to have to suck it up and give it to him. And I think the sooner that we do it, like I said for months, and like Baddog said in his video like a week ago, I just think it makes too much sense not to do it. If he's going to be in the long-term plans anyway, get it over with. Because if you wait 2 more years, you're going to be paying him until he's 31, and you're going to be paying him an increased rate. Yep. So you got to suck it up and you got to pay the guy after this year. You got to give him that extension.
I completely agree. Belly81 says, Bad Dog, you wanted to throw Shermer in the Hudson. Yes, I did. Talk about getting him made for some concrete shoes made for him and chucking him in the Hudson River. Yes. Yeah.
Gordon Gaggle, man, thanks so much, man, for the love. Really appreciate it, man. $10 donation says, Bad Dog, I already asked Chris this. I see a disagreement coming. But do you think the NFL should change the Lombardi Trophy to the Belichick Trophy? And if not, does he deserve it? I don't think we're going to disagree on this, but go ahead.
The reason it's the Lombardi Trophy is because they won the first inaugural AFL-NFL championship game. If the Chiefs won, it would have been the Lamar Hunt Trophy. That's why the Lamar Hunt Trophy is the AFC championship game because, the AFL became the AFC. So that's why they win the Lamar Hunt Trophy. Why George Halas for the NFC, I don't know. Why they decided on him, because he's one of the greatest owners of all time, I guess. But I love Bill Belichick. I love him. I love him to death. You're not changing the name of that trophy, man. That is the Lombardi Trophy. It'll always be the Lombardi Trophy. And Belichick, as great as he is, no. Because Lombardi not only won the Super Bowl, Lombardi won championships before the Super Bowl. So
yeah, my answer to it was, you could definitely argue that Belichick deserves it. He's arguably the greatest coach ever, but the NFL would never do it, being that he's cheated and the NFL hates him.
Yeah.
So it would never happen. But in my opinion, especially when you factor in the salary cap era and all the things he had to deal with and getting the most out of players, obviously I didn't get to see Lombardi. But factoring in, I feel like this is the toughest time period in the history of the NFL to maintain a dynasty because of the salary cap. I do think Belichick's the greatest coach ever.
I do too.
But they're never going to change the name and the fact that the NFL kind of hates him. So they would never agree to do that.
Yeah,
and Prison Mike, thank you so much for the $2 donation. Antonio Brown definitely dropped the soap. I think he meant soap in prison.
I think he did it on purpose too, honestly.
Yeah. Dog drinking the old Arizona iced tea, Vance Billow says.
Damn right.
Basketball is not changing the name to the Phil Jackson Trophy either. No,
right.
They're not.
Nope.
And I would actually argue, and I know he's got the most championships, I think, or at least in modern day basketball, but I would say you can make an argument that Greg Popovich is a better coach. You could definitely make the argument.
Red Auerbach is a better coach. You can make that argument. Listen, Phil Jackson had Jordan and Pippen, and he had Shaq and Kobe. Come on, man. He went to the Knicks, he sucked.
He said, make a triangle and give the ball to Pippen and Jordan, and you're good to go. L.A. Lou, thank you so much for the $5 donation. He says, you two going to join? Yes, of course we're going to join Senior Draft. I'm taking 3 days off for it. I have the vacation time, and I need to use it or lose it. And Lombardi forever.
I'm on vacation that week myself, so it works out perfectly.
Yeah, I appreciate the love. We'll probably do the first round on his because we did the first round of mine last year, and then second round will be on mine. And, I'm sure I'm going to have a lot, and he will have a lot, and we'll have joint live streams leading up to the draft, recapping the draft. But yeah, we'll definitely be doing the draft together, the first and second day for sure on one another's channels. We'll alternate channels. So man, I appreciate the love, Lou, man, and thank you for the support, man. Yep. What do you think about Jimmy Garoppolo? Noel says. I'll answer first. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is in a great situation. I think Shanahan's a great offensive mind, and he's got a very good surrounding team. I wasn't impressed with Jimmy Garoppolo this year, to be honest with you. He had a great support system. I know his team went to the Super Bowl, but he didn't perform that well. Matt, he had a great support system, and he didn't play that well in the Super Bowl. We'll see, but no, I'm not a huge Jimmy G guy. I think he's okay. I don't think he's as good as some people lead him on to be.
Yeah, I do not have anybody tweet for me, KP. I'm not that big. People tweet for me. No.
Yeah, could you imagine if we could pay people to tweet for us, Baddog?
Yeah, I'm never be at that level. Trust me.
I'll pay you $50 a tweet. Go ahead.
Yeah. Wish.
Any big free agents that you think the Giants could pick up in 2021?
Bosa.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, Bosa. I'm actually gonna do a video on that. I haven't done enough research on the 2021 class. I know Ingram and Bosa, both from the Chargers, I think, are set to be free agents. Now, who knows if they're going to hit it? They could be franchise tagged. But, edge rusher, we'll say that, depending on what they do in the draft. But I would guess edge rusher could definitely, or depending on how the players on our roster progress, but I would say edge rusher could be the primary focus in terms of free agency next year. Thank you so much, and we got time for the $5 donation. He says, you guys literally made my Friday night. Grabbed a case of beer, talking football with y'all. Thanks to the stream, by the way. I'm 10 beers in.
Nice.
10 beers in. Wow, Baddog. We were 10 beers in when we did the Dream Team Stream Team, but I have not been 10 beers in a while.
Me neither. I haven't drank a total of 10 beers in 4 months. That's ridiculous.
Good for you, man. Good for you. And we got time, man. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. And I hope everybody is. I hope everybody's staying safe out there. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for your support.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good spelling for 10 beers. He might get a lot of practice.
It is, because I had Chris Devers on my channel last night, and he was drinking something, and I couldn't understand a damn thing he was saying. I don't know what the hell he was typing. I was like,
Chargers have bad owner. Yeah, they do. I didn't realize what time. It's 11:04. We'll go for 5 more minutes, guys. We've been on for 2 hours and 4 minutes. I just want to say thank you to everyone for being here. Go ahead and ask a couple more questions. But, if you haven't done so, like I said, we'll be live on Bad Dogs next week. I'll be live Monday. I'm sure Bad Dog will be live soon as well. So
tomorrow night, I'm doing a call-in show. So there you go.
Tomorrow night, he's doing a call-in show. So you're going over there, show him some support. Thank you to everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. And thank you guys for being great supporters of the channel.
Oh, the Twitter, when I upload a video, Twitter will send out the notification I uploaded the video, because YouTube and Twitter are linked. But I did that video like 2 hours ago. But still, that might be what you saw there. I didn't do anything on Twitter.
Oh, because it came out while we were live. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a cool feature that YouTube added. Yeah, when I post my video on there, as soon as you upload, you just click Twitter and it posted on Twitter at the same time.
Yep.
Do you have Judy or Lamb higher? Also, why did Peoples-Jones lose so much of his draft stock? Yeah, I've seen him going in about the third round, fourth round. In terms of Judy, it's splitting hairs, man. It's flip a coin. They're both phenomenal. Neither one's going to be a giant. But I don't know. I'll go Judy just because Baddog says CD Lamb. But they're so close. You can't go.
They really are. Like you said, flip a coin. It's 1 and 1A. But yeah, definitely. I'm a Sooner fan, so you give me CD Lamb, man. CD Lamb. His brother DVD Lamb is pretty good too, in case you didn't know.
Do you really believe Simmons or Carter could develop into the next Strahan? No.
God,
No. I mean, you could hope and pray. Strahan obviously wasn't the greatest prospect ever. He turned himself into that with hard work. But I mean, come on. I mean, you're talking about one of the top 10 edge rushers ever.
Yeah.
With Michael Strahan, you would be hard pressed to convince anybody that one of those guys will even approach Michael Strahan.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. I wish it could.
Gordon Gecko says, stay to the anchors, just closing the show with In the Club. That is something maybe I'll do on Monday night. I'll have some fun with you guys. This show, I try to keep it, strict Giants talk and answering your questions. Try to have some fun, though. But thank you guys so much, man, for all the love, man. Very poor man's version of Michael Strahan. I think, I'll say this. I love Justin Tuck. I think maybe, if everything broke right, maybe Simmons turns into a player like that. I don't think it's going to happen. But Michael Strahan is just way over the top. There's no way.
I mean, Strahan had 142 sacks in it, or 141 and a half sacks, right? Or something like that. Yeah. Not the all-time. They want to say that it's the all-time Giants sack lead. It's not. Officially, it is, but unofficially, sacks didn't become an official stat until 1982. And I always say this because I'm an LT guy. And next week I'm wearing my damn LT jersey when we do this show because I haven't worn that. I actually ended up with 2 of them, but I'm wearing it. But LT had 9.5 sacks in 1981, giving him a total of 142 sacks because he's credited with 132.5 sacks. So that gives him 142, which means he has one more than Strahan. LT's the GOAT. Don't compare anybody to LT. LT's God. He was God. He's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, as Bret Hart would say. I freaking loved LT.
The other thing that you got to factor in with LT and players back then that makes it even more impressive to put up sack numbers like that, quarterbacks didn't have the passing attempts back then that they did in Michael Strahan's era, or even today's era even more so. But back then, teams used to run the ball. I don't know the numbers, but I would guess 60% of the time.
Yeah, you weren't throwing 60 times a game. Yeah, the game was much slower paced.
You had probably 70% of the opportunity that you had when Michael Strahan played. So for LT to get the same amount of sacks is pretty damn impressive when it was more of a running league.
Yeah, LT was just. He's LT. I don't know what to say, man. That guy. Gonna go watch some more 86. Gonna go watch some more 1986 Giants when we get done with this stream. Well, I'm gonna talk to you for like an hour, and then I'll go watch them.
Yeah, that's usually what we do. No. we talk to you guys for 2 hours, and then we talk for another 2 hours after the stream.
We discuss future shows. We discuss a lot of what's our channels and stuff. So what time's my calling show? It's always 10:30. It's always late. It's always after my wife and son go to bed. So
LT is not a good human. I mean, he didn't do good things, that's for sure. But he was a good New York Giant, and that's my only relationship with him on the football field.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. OC had 4.5 sacks, and he had more than that. He had 6. Right? OC had 6 against the Eagles, didn't he?
Yes, against King Dunlap. Yes, he did. Big Drake said, "Is it possible to pronounce Betcher right, but not say ketchup correctly?"
Yeah, I completely screw that catch-up, okay? There you go. You guys got it for a stream. Thank you very much. And
catch-up. Can you catch up, please?
With the $2 donation, he says, I'm 24. I can drink like a fish, y'all. I could drink like a fish when I was 24, too. I could probably drink like a fish now. It's just not good for my health, so I don't. But more power to you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Enjoy it.
Well, eventually.
Hopefully he's drinking good beer. What beer do you think he's drinking, Baddog?
He's 10. I'm going to go... Miller Lite.
Yeah, it's definitely like a Coors Light, Miller Lite, Bud Light, Busch Light. Yeah, I don't drink those beers anymore either, but they're much easier to throw down because they're basically water.
They are. Well, I always used to say when I would be drinking, like I drink Modelo's or, like a Corona or like a Heineken. So, you get 3 or 4 of those deep, then you got to drink a Coors Light so you can hydrate. and then you go back to drinking the way. That's how you do that.
Well, when you leave them out in the cold, the Bud Lights, that they freeze because they're water.
They are, yes.
Yeah. Man. Lloyd, man, you have a great. I don't know if you're saying good night, but you have a great night, man. Let's see what we got here. We need another Will Hill safety who looks like that. Who looks like that in the draft? Yeah, to be honest, somebody asked me the safety question earlier. I know obviously the second round safeties. I haven't done enough research on the later round safeties. But I will do that. I'll definitely have a video up on that. Probably within a week.
There's a name I forgot all about. Will Hill. Oh, he was freaking good too, man. He was good, but he couldn't leave the weed alone. The weed. Oh God, who was the other guy? God, there's another guy that I really liked that had a ton of interceptions. And he was on the team with Will Hill. He had like 8 picks and 3 touchdowns one year. Who the hell was that guy?
What year are we talking?
It was the same time Will Hill was on the team. So, like 2000. When the hell was Will Hill there? 15? 14? Who the hell was that guy? Damn it, Steve. It was Steve something. Stevie something. Stevie Brown.
Stevie Brown.
Stevie Brown. That was a safety I really liked. Stevie Brown.
Stevie Brown. Yeah. And we got time. Thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. He says, Michelob, y'all got to watch the car. Yeah, they're like 70 carbs. So there you go. That's how he's able to put down 10 because it's like 2 Heinekens.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, Stevie Brown. Let's see. Yeah, everybody said it now. Steve Brown. I'm probably drinking water during the draft night. Baddog said, he said the wrong word.
Hey, listen, last time I went to a restaurant, it was Applebee's. I said, give me Dos Equis. Okay, we're out of Dos Equis. All right, give me Modelo. We're out of Modelo. I said, what do you have? And they named it, and they said Corona. I'm like, yeah, obviously I'm taking that. Give me a Corona. I got Blue Moon. I'm saying I got 1 Blue Moon left. That 6-pack lasted me 7 days. One a day.
Yeah. I haven't had a beer in a while either. No. I'll definitely have some beers on draft night for sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's one of these nights it's going to have to be like a cheat day where I can actually just not worry about the damn calories and eating clean and drink my beer. It might be draft night. I might need them. I might need them.
Hopefully we don't need them. Hopefully we're celebrating while we're drinking.
Yes, exactly.
Good night, fellas. Stay safe out there and wish nothing but good health to you. Same with all you guys, man. Nothing but good health to all you guys. Make sure you wash your hands. Make sure you stay clean. I think we're going to wrap it up anyway, guys. We went a little later because for some reason my time's not popping on my computer, so I didn't know what time it was. But you guys are phenomenal. Thank you guys for all your continued support of my channel. You guys always watch all my videos. You guys tune in all the live streams. I'm trying my best to give you guys something to watch and something, you guys give me someone to talk to about sports. And that's what I love about my channel, trying to build a sports community. I always love doing this show. It's like Baddog always says, it's our favorite thing to do on YouTube. I'm glad Baddog came on tonight. Thank you, Baddog, so much for coming on. Looking forward to doing it again next week on your channel.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to see you guys Monday for my live stream, going over to his tomorrow. Baddog, always let you close it out, man. Say what you got to say.
Yeah, man. Like Chris said, I mean, this show is nothing without you guys. I say that every week because it's true. When we started this thing, man, we never thought it'd be such a, it's amazing. We had over 400 people in here. I know we're building up to the draft, but we've had no sports at all. We're all getting through this thing together. And like you said, man, everybody be safe out there. Thank you for all the continued support, watching the videos, tuning in the live streams, because we're getting through this each day together. We need each other more than ever now. Social distancing, but we can't catch anything through the internet. So this is great. This is the only place you can hang out with 400 people and not get in trouble, right? You can't have gatherings of more than 10. We had 400 in here, and guess what? Nobody cares. So it's awesome. We're not getting in trouble by the governor. We're not on lockdown, none of this stuff. So thank you guys again for your continued support, just being amazing subscribers and supporters all the time. Really do appreciate it. And everybody be safe, and we'll see you next time.
I just want to get that super chat before we close it out. And we got time. Thank you so much. Oh, I got 2. Thank you guys so much. He says, help me become a member, still doesn't work. And we got time. Tell you what, if you can't figure it out by Monday, and if you want to do it, I never tell anybody they got to do that. I will show it to you on my phone. But when you go on my channel, I don't know what it is when during the live stream, you should see a join button. You click the join button, and then there's a list of steps. But right now, you're 10 beers deep, so you'll probably have some trouble doing it right now. I know you've asked me a few times. And New York for life, man, thank you so much, man. $2 donation. I'm just here for the pizza. I think everybody's here for the pizza. But I think I'll say this better. When people watch us stream, I think they definitely get hungry for pizza because they hear the New York Italian accent.
There's something about it. And most of my streams, they start off football, they end with food. It is unbelievable. When I do a stream, it ends with food every time. And that's what happened when I started streaming. It always happened that way. It always ended with booze and food every time. It's unbelievable. And it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going, damn, I want some steak. I want veal parm now. 1 in the morning. It's crazy.
But yeah, thank you again, guys. You guys are the best. Stay safe out there and have a great night.
All right. Take it easy. Peace.